What's going on, good people? Happy Saturday to everybody. Hopefully, everybody had a good start to their weekend, or at least a good as a start to the weekend that as the New York Giants had against the Miami Dolphins. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Before we get started, let me know if the audio's good. Let me know if the visual is good. Give me a thumbs up or just say that I'm good in the chat. How is everybody doing tonight after the New York Giants just beat up all over those Miami Dolphins? The New York Giants go to South Beach, and they should have put up more points than they did. And we're going to talk about that too. Because, man, somebody messed up today that couldn't afford to mess up, and he did it again. But we got some things to talk about for sure. I want to do a quick roll call. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in. Let the algorithm know that we are in the building, and the algorithm will let other Giants fans know that we are in the building. Make sure you guys go ahead and do that. Welcome to the family reunion, the New York Giants family reunion, late night Giants talk with yours truly, Big Dash Knows. I appreciate everybody that's already in the building. We got over 65 people in the building. Again, make sure you hit that like button. Going to do a quick roll call for all the people that got here early. What's going on, everybody? My man, our name is in here. What's going on, our name? How you doing? My man, Jersey Guy in the building said, yeah, what's going on, Jersey Guy? Kelvin Davis says, let's freaking go 26-3 to New York Football Giants. T-Time, what's going on, T-Time? And I noticed that some people do have the wrench now. We got some trollers now. We done made it, I guess, to the big leagues. We got trollers and stuff now. Some people got some wrenches. I'm working on some more wrenches to hand out. You guys can snipe any inappropriate comments that are going on out there. So Miguel Franco, what's going on? It says evening dash chat. Tyrone for a fifth rounder. We're going to talk about Tyrone today for sure. We definitely going to talk about Tyrone today. Oh, man. Miguel also said it was the Dolphins, though. We supposed to dominate bad teams. Let me go ahead and put a star on this comment because I want to come back to this comment right here. I want to come back to that comment because, actually, I'm going to talk about it right now. Already going off script. We ain't even been 3 minutes into the show. I'm already going off script. So my man Miguel said it was the Dolphins, though. We supposed to dominate bad teams. You are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. But guess what? The New York Giants in the past have not done that. They have not taken care of business against a lesser opponent. We saw it for the first time in a long time today, and that means something. So I'm going to dance all over this victory. Shout out to Rev in the building. He says, I like what I saw, Big Dash. I like what I saw too, Rev. And shout out to you. D. Hoffman in the building said, Big Blue Nation, let's go. Prentice in the building. What's going on? She said, what it do? Big Dad, what's going on, Prentice? How you doing? OKC Donald in the building said, Dash, what's good? New York Giants family reunion. Yes, sir. Dash, my name is Donnell. OKC Donald? Donnell. So I'm going to say Donnell now. Donnell. It don't flow as easily, but it is what it is. I'm respect your name, though. Derek said, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? Derek Mello Trades is in the building. Said, what's good, bro? I'm chilling, man. I'm happy tonight. We're going to enjoy this victory, even though it is the lowly Miami Dolphins. But guess what? People didn't take it easy on us when we was losing. When we sucked, we were bad and losing. Nobody took it easy on us. Enjoy this victory. Enjoy this victory, of course, because, yes, they didn't play our starters, but guess what? We didn't play a lot of our starters either. So I'm happy with this. Seti, what's going on? He says, Giants look solid. Yes, they did. JV Bronx, what's going on? He said, did Russell get cut? What are you talking about? Did Russell get cut? What Russell you talking about? Don Devine said, we back. Kenneth Perkins in the building said, what up, Dash? Cringy Grinchy, what's going on? He said, what up, Dash? He said, bro, if Odell made that touchdown catch, he was a lock on the 53. He has to show out week 3. I don't know if he plays week 3, to be honest. I don't know what's going to happen now. I thought this was going to be the dress rehearsal, obviously. Harbaugh felt strong enough about the joint practice that a lot of the starters didn't play. Bad news for us, good news for guys to be healthy. But I wish I would have been able to see some of these starters this week for sure. I like the way that the offense moved up and down the field, but again, we're going to get into that. We just doing the intros right now. Man, Dink in the building. What's going on? Big Blue Doja's in the building. Isaac Moore, what's going on, Isaac? How we doing? Michael, what's going on, Mike? I ain't see you last week. Was you here last week, Mike? How you doing? How you been? Did you enjoy the victory? Is it Ariana Cora? Arian Cora. My bad. Said, what up, Dash? What's going on? How you doing? What's going on? I see everybody in the building. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. Aaron says BTA. Yes, it was. It was absolute from the opening bell, like they say in boxing. The New York Giants have furniture moving out there. Shout out to the over 100 people in the building. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. And shout out to the one lonely soul over there on Facebook. Shout out to you. Appreciate the love and support over there too, man. Even the people on Facebook. Because one of y'all over there. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Jim Simpson says, feeling good, even if what? You didn't finish the statement. Dre P, what's going on? He said, what's up, Big Dash? He said, in the Giants family, I listen to you live every Saturday night while I clean the Lord's house. Keep it up, bro. So you better listen. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Guess what? My grandfather did the same thing every Saturday night. Actually, he used to do it on the Friday. He did it either Saturday night or either Fridays is when my grandfather used to do the same thing. Get the church ready. Shout out. Rest in peace to my grandfather, Deacon Wiggins. Paul, what's going on? He says, Big Dash. What's going on, Paul? How we doing? All right. GL John Stewart with the $5 super chat says, the Big Dash, I acknowledge you the way I acknowledge Roman Reigns in Christ Jesus. New York Giants, let's go. I don't deserve any of that, but I appreciate the love and support. I do. I really do. Mike says Odell messed up Dash dropping that touchdown in the end zone. Yeah, he did. Okay, so let me go ahead and get these. Let me go ahead and get everything up. No, that's not it. That's the one. That'll work. That'll work. So you guys see some of the topics we're going to talk about today. Obviously, the chat is the chat. A lot of you guys keep the chat moving, and we're going to jump into those conversations as well. Shout out to my man, Coach Ed, in the building. What's going on, Coach? How you doing, man? Offensive line look good today, didn't they? The trenches look good today, didn't they, Coach? Coach is a big fan of the trenches for sure. Skills, what's up? He says, Dash, that's the word. The coaching staff had the backups looking good out there today. Can't wait to see that first game with all the starters out there. Yeah, I want to get back to that point. And shout out to Machuca Papa. I got it right. He says fins down. I said bruised fins up top. So we're gonna talk about it, man. Obviously the New York Giants had a joint practice on Thursday, with the Miami Dolphins. What was so great about that is it was open practice. The fans got a chance to see it. And also the beat writers for the first time this summer had a chance to report live from practice. And we saw all of the clips, all of the videos. We saw all of the big plays, Jackson Dart connection with Malachi Fields. We got to see all of that. Interception by Poston, the Debo against Malik Willis. We got a chance to see all of that for the first time this summer. And that was fantastic, seeing live reports coming out of Giants camp. Now, we know that Harbaugh is not a fan of letting anything leak. He doesn't want to give away any type of advantages to any of these teams we're going to be playing, mostly the Dallas Cowboys. But it was good to see that for us as fans being, biased. But I was happy about that. But getting back to this game, from the opening bell, it was almost, I forgot my man is in church, cleaning the church. We're going to try to keep it as clean as possible. But shout out to the New York Giants for going down to South Beach and putting the paws on the fins for 4 quarters. And they even did a mercy kneel at the end because they could have put up more points after dude muffed the kickoff return, but they decided to be respectful, young gentlemen. A handshake, take the knee, walk off the field with a victory. I did see, as far as injuries go, I did see Azudu limping off of the field late in the game. Curious to see what the reports are going to be on that tomorrow. But outside of that, it seemed like the team was fairly clean. Like it seemed that it was fairly clean, healthy game. A lot of people making plays. Defense looks prepared. Offense looked prepared. And guess what? Second, third, fourth stringers look prepared. And that was the most important thing to me is the New York Giants have a track record, had past tense, had a track record of being ill prepared. Not only did we have one kicker, we had 2 kickers. Not only did we have 2 running backs, we had 4, 5 actually. Did not see Najee Harris, was expecting that. But at the end of the day, the New York Giants went to Miami, handled their business, and we're going to get into some of these points right now. So the first question of the day, you see it up there as the second topic up there. Tay Banks, We saw clips from practice, like I said earlier. Guess what Tay Banks did? Had a pass breakup, and you know how he did it? He turned his head around. For the first time in human history, the New York Giants saw a recorded play with Tay Banks turning his head around. And guess what he did? He broke up the play, broke up the touchdown pass, almost got the interception if he was able to keep his feet in bounds. But the question is, first question of the day, and I do apologize, I'm going all the way to the bottom. I see everybody out there. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Is Tay Banks fixed? Is Tay Banks fixed? That's the first question of the day. Shout out to Joe First with the $10 super chat. Says, seeing you and Cop Pizzle shaking my head, a disgrace. You guys thought you was the best white-black collab since Lethal Weapon. That's funny. I didn't think about the Lethal Weapon connection, but I like that. He says, let's see how it goes in real games out before you put on those theatrics. Again, Big Dash. There weren't any theatrics. I thought the show was pretty calm because you know how he can get. And for those that remember me in 2022, you know how I can get when the New York Giants go on a win streak. I thought it was pretty calm. I thought it was a good football conversation. We didn't go crazy. The Kool-Aid was not poured. Actually, I'm like, the Kool-Aid was poured, but it wasn't sipped on. So I think we're good right now. I think I'm good. Shout out to Joe Ferris, though. But I want to know. Let me know if Tay Banks is fixed. Is he fixed? Let me get down to the bottom, man. Joe Ferris says, boo, he doesn't like my explanation. Anthony Cherry says, not sure yet on Banks. Understandable. Michael says Banks is fixed. Banks is fixed if he keep playing man-to-man, Dash. He plays good. He played good today. My man Stacy says Banks look like he's ready to be a professional cornerback. I like that too. OKC says, I got to see more out of Banks before I say he needs to start. I'd rather see Hood and Newsome. I'm going to say this, man. Shout out to my man Chris in the building too. He says, proud of Banks for taking to coaching. I love that. Listen, man. I'm Joe Ferris says Banks is open. Banks closed, Banks open. Listen. I'm pumping the brakes on Banks right now, right? I'm pumping the brakes on him, right? Because again, this is the preseason. But when I say that every needle is pointing in the right direction, the hustle is there, pass coverage, getting your head around, run defense. You saw that today. He had a tackle for a loss today on a corner blitz. Shout out to Denard Wilson for out here doing some amazing things, and it wasn't even elaborate either. This is just a preseason bag we're seeing for Denard Wilson. And also, we still have not seen DJ Reader or Shelby Harris. And guess what? Today, the run defense was quite a bit better. Now, there were a couple of runs that they did break. It's not perfect, but again, we don't have the starters in there. But getting back to Deontay Banks, all the needles pointing in the right direction. But there is still some competition happening in that cornerback room. We didn't see Hood at all today. That was one thing. But the other two that we saw today that didn't play in the first game, Paulson Adebo, Greg Newsome. We saw those guys out there today too. And despite all of the chatter about Paulson Adebo and how he didn't look good in the summer, he looked good out there today. He looked good in practice. In practice, he went against the ones. Today, again, we played against 2s and 3s. But Paulson Adebo was moving around nicely. He seemed quick, had a pass breakup today. When you look at Greg Newsome, had a pass breakup on the left side of the field. He looked good today. Also in run support, he looked good today. Tay Banks looked good today. And then now I got to talk about one other person. Andrew Phillips, man. Andrew Phillips, and this is not, I can't take credit for this. Andrew Phillips is a linebacker in a cornerback's body. That's what I think of Drew Phillips. He is a linebacker in a cornerback's body. Anything 15 yards and in front of him is food. He is shutting down the run. He is shutting down the outs, shallow crosses. Andrew Phillips can handle all that, but as soon as that receiver gets 15 yards and beyond, the man is a liability. I just said it in the video I just posted about an hour ago. There are certain things that Andrew Phillips has not fixed yet, but there's also a lot of things that he does very well. Shout out to my man Rev with the $2 super chat. He says, I've been talking about Banks all summer. You have, Rev. And guess what? You were one of the first people to say, you know what, give that man a chance. So shout out to my man Rev, because I was being pessimistic about it. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. Now that I'm seeing it with my own eyes, now I just want to see it in a real game, because I believe it because I saw it. I just want to see it consistently and against better competition. But right now, all the needles are pointing in the right direction for Tay Banks. But Andrew Phillips, man, let me know what you guys think about Andrew Phillips, man. A linebacker in a cornerback's body and a liability when you get a little bit further down the field. I see my man Prentice said Newbin looked good too. I'm gonna talk about Newbin in a second. Kenneth Perkins says Newsome looked good. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yo Dirk said Newsome was everywhere. Yes, he was. Atlantic JM, don't get too far ahead. Don't get too far ahead, because we're gonna get to Calvin Austin, man. I've been waiting all summer long for Calvin Austin to show up. And guess what he did today? He showed up, but we're gonna get back to that. That's one of the other talking points. But let me know, man. I'm gonna see some more stuff. Liability pass, 15 yards. Big Blue Reborn, what's going on? Shout out to Big Blue Reborn in the building. I saw you put out the live today, so shout out to you. Also, I saw the collab that you did yesterday with TP. That was fantastic too. Make sure you guys support my man Big Blue Reborn. Actually, I should say both of those guys, my man Milton, my man Ethan over there, putting out good content. If you haven't got a chance to watch any of their videos or any of their stuff on Instagram as well, make sure you guys do that. TikTok as well too. Big Blue Reborn putting in that good work. Ian Campbell says you said it perfectly. A linebacker in a cornerback's body. And guess what, though? He had a big play today. He had a caused fumble and a fumble recovery. Tackle for loss, forced fumble, fumble recovery, all on the same play pretty much, right? Right. Drew Phillips is nice, but he also has that weakness. So this is still a battle to me between how they handle the nickel spot or the slot spot if Ardarius Washington is on the field. Because that's when we talk about somebody being all over the place. I know my man said Newsome was all over the place today. Ardarius Washington is going to get a lot of snaps this season. He is getting a lot of snaps this season. He was all over the place today. Can you imagine, just for a moment, take a walk with me, just for a moment. Can you imagine the secondary actually being good? Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine this secondary actually being good. What does that mean for the New York Giants? It means that we pretty much can box with anybody in the league if this secondary is actually good. And I'm not saying great. I'm not saying iconic. I'm saying if this secondary is just good, we should be able to box with every team in the league, because we got the edge rushers. If we have the secondary, that's fantastic. But damn it, I need to see what DJ Reader and Shelby Harris bring to this run defense. And we have not seen that yet. And I don't think we're going to see that at all till the season starts. And unfortunately, I'm going to be a little bit panicked about that. But I'm happy right now. My man Won't Stop Dream Team says, gee, man, what's going on? How you doing? My man Tyrone Hall in the building as well. He said you need to do a podcast with Big Blue Reborn. I had him on the show before, right before the draft, but we definitely got some. Listen, I got some things planned. We got to do a New York Giants show before the season starts. It's going to be another collab. We're going to get people in the building. So trust, make sure the notifications is on. Make sure the notifications is on so you can prepare for anything that might happen before the season starts. Was anybody at the game today? Let me know. Was anybody at the game today? Did anybody get a chance to enjoy that game? I know my man Mark Thompson was in the building. I know my man Joker Sean was out there for the game. I know it rained too. I know it absolutely rained. I tried to avoid this conversation. I was hoping that, there weren't going to be any more mistakes from this player. You see it as the fourth subject on the talking points, and that's Tyrone Tracy. Hold on. You said, where'd your super chat go? Hold on. Let me see. Did I miss another super chat? There goes Jake. There it is right there. $2 super chat. I wonder with injuries, if Houston could take Slayton. Okay, I got you, because they got the wide receivers issue going on. So Jacob with the $2 super chat says, I wonder with injuries if Houston could take Slayton. That's going to be a conversation we're going to have a little bit later. But let me make sure I start that so we can come back to that. But it might not be Slayton. at the end of the day. It might not. There was somebody that wasn't playing today that had some rumors, and you see it as the last subject that I got written there. But we're gonna jump around a little bit for sure. We're gonna jump around a little bit. Tyrone Tracy. And the thing that's so Tyrone. Let's get right to it. Tyrone Tracy fumbled today. Tyrone Tracy did not need something else negative to happen before the season started, and guess what happened? He fumbled today. So you missed the block last week that got Jackson Dart smashed, pause, and then today you fumble in the red zone where the New York Giants were most likely going to score. And it's the way you fumbled too, man. Obviously, we knew it was wet out there, raining, was pouring out there and stuff like that, but you didn't even get hit and you fumbled. It was and the interception was clean, but you still fumbled in the red zone. And obviously, the first thing I did, I ran over to Twitter. I hate saying X. I ran over to Twitter. I said the one person that could mess up today fumbled. Come on, son. And I mean it. Obviously, what happened last week, then the New York Giants signing Najee Harris, and then this week you fumble. Let me know how deep in the doghouse is Tyrone Tracy right now, or is it nothing? Is it a nothing burger? Yet last week was a missed block, this week was a fumble. Is it nothing, or is it something? Let me know, man, because I don't need that to happen from Tyrone Tracy. I don't. Big Blue Reborn says, "Hey, Tracy is working himself out of a job. It was interesting. Najee didn't dress." Well, the only reason why that's interesting to us is because we saw him play in the joint practice, scored a touchdown in the joint practice, but they told us before the joint practice that he wouldn't be ready for another 2 weeks. So obviously, we go from not being ready in 2 weeks to playing live football against the Dolphins and scoring the touchdown to not playing at all. Now it could have been, I don't know if he dressed at all. I don't know if he had shoulder pads or not. I didn't see him at all. Actually, it's funny, but I don't know if it was the rain, the wet field. They just didn't want to aggravate anything like that, so they took precaution. But you cannot do that, Tyrone Tracy, when you already have somebody in the building that a lot of people feel like is there to take your job. Now, we can argue and debate over how many running backs Harbaugh has a history of keeping, and it is 4 running backs. But if you got issues with either pass pro or if you got issues with holding on to the ball and you had an issue like that before, and then you look at Devin Singletary stepping up, making big plays, you even Eric Gray had a good day today. You can't be making those mistakes, man. Now, I will say this. I still believe that Tyrone Tracy absolutely has a spot on this team. I think he's going to be impactful for this team too, but you just can't make these mistakes, in a row. Shout out to my man Chris Caleb with the $2 super chat. He says, "My guy T Noob is playing well so far." He did play well today. He had a nice pass breakup today, and he is playing faster than we've seen him play, in recent history, like in the last 2 seasons. But I think there's a lot of competition at safety. I don't think the safety room is set yet. You saw Pinnock out there today. You saw Darius Washington out there today. You saw pretty much everybody except for Javon Holland. And they're still trying to figure out who they want on the field. And that's going to be an interesting battle that's going to go all the way, I think, until, the first game. We'll find out, because I don't think any of the starters play next week. And watch me be wrong, right? I thought the starters were going to play today. They didn't. I'm saying the starters are not going to play next week, and maybe the starters play. We'll see what happens with that. Tyrone Hall says, "You still the man, Big Dash." I appreciate that, Tyrone Hall. Shout out to you. Shout out to Papa Joe in the building with the $2 super chat. Says Tracy needs new cleats. Fell down last week. It's a bunch of stuff happening with him, man. A bunch of stuff. Big Blue Reborn with the $5 super chat says, "Dash, he was next to Scat in street clothes. The rest." Oh, okay. Thank you. You got a sharper eye than me. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I was trying to figure out where he was, but he was in street clothes. That's something to, take note of. A lot of the guys that, are playing starters or cemented on the roster didn't play today. A lot of your starters didn't play, and then some of the new acquisitions didn't play. Some of the older guys didn't play. But the guys that played today that had, that stood out to me were Bobby Jameson Travis had a sack today. That was fantastic. Like I said, our Darius Washington had a tackle for loss and also a pass breakup. That's fantastic to me. Tay Banks, Micah McFadden had a bounce back game today. He looked good. He had a sack too today. But I want to talk about another thing that happened today that I was praying for would happen, and it almost did. And that was Odell Beckham Jr. getting back to one of the points my man made earlier. Shout out to Anthony Cherry with the $2 super chat as well. And I think I'm caught up with the super chats here. So I'm going to ask you guys another question. What was going through your mind when Odell dropped that touchdown pass, man? What was going through your mind? What was going on? And while y'all guys do that, I'm going to answer some of these comments or read some of these comments that you guys have in the chat right now. Neighbors the Goat says, was good from Australia. Chill out on Tracy, everyone. He made 2 really bad mistakes. No excuses for that, but he will bounce back, hopefully coming off 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard from scrimmage seasons. Now, I will say this. Before that fumble, Tracy was running all over the Dolphins. Like, Pete, that's what happens because sometimes the bad outweighs the good, but he was having a good game up until that point, and even after that game, after that fumble, he was able to get a couple more runs, and then also a pass reception too. So Tracy, by all means, Tracy had a I was going to say a good game, but a good game, but a big mistake. It was really bad, like my man Neighbors the Goat says from Australia. Shout out to Australia. You can't let it happen, though, man. Especially when the magnifying glass is on you. Right now, you can't make that kind of mistake, especially when nobody touched you either. That's what made it look so bad, too. Nobody touched him. I'm listening to Bob Popper and Carl Banks. Bob Popper's like, oh, no. You know it's bad when Bob Popper hit you with the, oh, no. He was like, oh, no. And then, sure enough, the fumble-rooski. Papa Joe says, how did he miss that? Had both catcher's mitts on it. That was the thing, too, man. And it's funny too, because again, I'm actively watching the game and I'm on Twitter posting stuff at the same time. I'm in the Giants chat and doing all this other stuff going on. And the whole time I'm sitting here, man, I'm anxious. I'm like, come on, Jameis Winston, get the ball, Odell, get the ball, Odell. And you can tell in certain cases that Winston was really trying to get Odell the ball. So, he had a couple of nice catches, but we needed that touchdown bad. I wanted that touchdown bad, and you saw his reaction when he didn't come down with it. He was upset. He was absolutely upset, and he should be, because that's something that he can do all the time. Now, he had to climb the ladder to get there, but if we've been spoiled for so long when it comes to Odell, as soon as we saw it hit his hands, we thought it was good. But nope, it did not happen. Shout out to my man TP Way in the building. He says, I don't know which one made me react more drastically, the Odell drop or the Tracy fumble. Had to be the Tracy. No, it's the Odell drop. Because the Tracy fumble was like, come on, man. And then the Odell was like, ooh, come on, man. Because I need, you know what that touchdown would have meant? That's almost like, and it sounds crazy to say this, but I just feel this way, so I'm just going to share it with you. It felt like that catch would have cemented his spot on the roster. It would have cemented his spot as wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, however people want to say it. But it felt like that touchdown does that because he had the play right before that where he catches it on the out, breaks a tackle, jukes the other guys out of his shoes, and he's like, yeah, that looks like the Odell that we know, that we love. And then that back of the end zone, man, like, come on. We needed that, man. That would have been the icing on the cake. It didn't happen. New York Giants still ended up winning. We know that preseason wins really don't matter. But how you look in these games absolutely matters in the preseason. Cringy Grinchy says the drop hurt. Yes, it did. Hurt my soul for sure. Hurt my soul. We talk about Odell right now. you jumped in right at the right time. We're talking about Odell right now. So anything you want to say about Odell, go ahead and put it in the comment section. What I missed, JV Bronx? Did I miss something? Or are you just saying, yo, what up? Did I miss something? I miss a pause. Because that yo seems serious. Rev says, I think Odell can feel the weight that we have. Oh, yeah, feel the weight that we have as fans placing on him. We are, I mean, like, I think we, like, a lot of us are rooting for Odell Beckham. I'm not going to say everybody, but I will say I'll say the majority. I feel confident enough to say the majority is rooting for Odell Beckham. But in the back of our minds, we want him to earn that spot. We don't want it to be like it's a feel he make the team because it's a feel good story. We want Odell Beckham to be on the team. Why? Because he actually earned his spot on the team, which I still think he's done that as far as being able to get open, even though he's not getting the targets. But Odell Beckham is a threat on the field. We saw it in the first week how far off they played. They played him. They gave him so much respect. This week is a bunch of young guys that didn't know any better, and Odell Beckham is just cooking them. Even in practice, cooking them. We saw that one rep in practice, spun the cornerback around. He's still got enough in the tank to make plays. He's not a wide receiver 1. He may not be a wide receiver 2, but as far as 3, 4, 5 goes, it's fair game. It's fair game. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, man. The elephant in the room were a lot of the other wide receivers. And I'm glad my man Joe Ferris brought up the one giant collab with my man Cop Pizzle, because he is a Darius Slayton defender, I should say. I can't imagine the type of reaction he had to the plays that Darius Slayton made today, but it definitely helped his argument. And I got to give credit where credit is due. Darius Slayton did a hell of a job today. He did. Now, whether you want to believe it or not, can he do it consistently? That's another question. I don't know the answer to that, but as far as history goes, it's a no. But as far as 2026 goes, Darius Slayton showed us today in the rain, wet field, wet ball, that he can hold on to the ball. And that pisses me off a little bit, but also I'm kind of happy for him, because if he's making these plays in real games, it's helping the New York Giants. So as much as I might not like Darius Slayton as much as I used to, if he's helping the New York Giants, I'm caught in a place where I got to root for him. And he did good today. Darius Slayton in 2026 did good. He did good. Yo, Dirk said, trade stock went up. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Great. You know what? Maybe that's Joe Shane. Joe Shane ready to, hey, did you see Darius Slayton today? Did you see Darius Slayton? It was in the rain, too. Did you see him catch that ball today? Did you see him fight for those extra yards? Let me get a 4th round pick for him. Let me get a 5th round pick for him. I don't know what the conversations are going to be, but that does help his trade stock. But all jokes aside today, because also Calvin Austin showed you guys finally, and I said it earlier, he finally showed you guys what he's capable of. You saw him in the punt return. He returned the kicks today. You saw him contribute on offense today. He even had an end around, was able to get loose and get a couple yards, positive yards on that. So with Malik Neighbors pretty much on the way back, with obviously Malachi Fields turning into wide receiver too, with Slayton showing you guys that he ain't dead yet, the addition of Calvin Austin and how he can be a gadget guy, Odell Beckham is in the mix. How do y'all feel about the wide receiver room? How do y'all feel about the wide receiver? And we still have not seen contributions from Darnell Mooney yet in games. But how do y'all feel about the wide receiver room now? My confidence level with the Darius Slayton that can hold on to the ball, again, we talk about one game, and Malachi Fields looking young and promising, and Calvin Austin looking like the scat back. I'm sorry, not the gadget guy, and possibly Odell Beckham being over-reliable with the hands, even though he had to drop today. I feel a lot more comfortable with this wide receiver room. A lot more comfortable with this wide receiver room. Let's see what some of you guys are saying. Dealer says Slayton did have a good game against the second and third stringers, but Odell wasn't even a factor until until there was 2 to 3 minutes left in the second. The Odell stuff has got to stop. You know what's funny? Because I saw the tweet that you put out there, Dealer. You was talking about Darius Slayton showing up, Darius Slayton making plays, and Odell had a big goose egg. I remember that. And it had to be what? You let me know. Was it 2 minutes? Did you just press send and then the catch happened? What happened? You started seeing Odell Beckham get involved. Now, it being the 2 minutes left in the second quarter, I mean, whatever. You take advantage of the opportunities that you're provided. Same thing with Darius Slayton. What's Darius Slayton's issue? Holding on to the ball. It's not if he can get open against. We've seen Darius Slayton get open against first-string cornerbacks in past seasons. Our issue with Darius Slayton is holding on to the ball. So what we got from today is he held on to the ball. That was a question mark. When it comes to Odell Beckham, they asked if he can get open. Odell got open. We saw Calvin Austin making plays, yards after the catch. We saw that today. You saw Theo Johnson get involved too. I forgot to even talk about Theo Johnson. He got involved too. So we can nitpick and go back and forth all the time. But we can't deny that the man is out there making plays and looking good running routes. Because a lot of people, not even a lot of people, not you saying this deal either, because you didn't say it. Some people said he was washed. And he is far from washed. Now, how good he can be, that's open for debate. And I'm not ready to have that conversation just yet. Had he made that touchdown grab today, I would have been ready for all of the conversations. All of them. All of them. He is not a troll. He is not a troll. He just has no filter and speaks what's on his mind. And I appreciate that. Michael says, Dash, you are talking about a preseason game with Slayton. Let's see what he can do in a real game and see if he don't have the drops. I'm not going to argue with you. You're absolutely right. But all we got is what we saw today. And that's all I can react to. Now, once we get to Dallas week 1, if he does the same thing, 3-4 catches, 40 yards, you're probably going to like that. That's a contribution. We'll see what happens, though. But as far as today, I'm excited. And I like what I saw today. And I took it with a grain of salt. And I understand it was the bottom of the league that we played today. But in past years, the New York Giants have played down to competition. Today, we saw the competition, stepped on the competition, and walked off like we should do. Expected. I'm not praising them for a win. I'm praising them for the way that they look today versus a bad team. They treated a bad team like a bad team, and I'm happy about that. My man, Big Docs, what's going on? He says, OBJ's footwork will always be elite. That's 100%. You know what I liked more about today for Odell Beckham wasn't even about the catch. That move that he made on the sideline, he broke the tackle, then the step back juke move. Yeah, that goes to show me that his brain is still working. And his hand-eye coordination is still good, and his motor skills are still good, and he can still cut on a dime. And I'm happy about that. That's all we need. We just need the threat of Odell Beckham out there. That's it. Just think of, because we already, once the season starts, you assume that Malik Neighbors is healthy. You got Malik Neighbors getting targets. Isaiah Likely's probably going to get the majority of the targets. Then you're looking at Malachi Fields, you're looking at Theo Johnson, you're looking at Scatterboo, Tyrone Tracy. All of these other guys are getting on the field before Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham is, hopefully for me, wide receiver 4. Maybe even wide receiver 5, depending on, how things shake out. But when the season starts, he ain't getting a bunch of targets, man. I just want the threat of Odell Beckham out there, because guess what? If they fall asleep, all it takes is the DB to fall asleep once feeling like OBJ is not a threat, and guess what? It's a touchdown. Period. And also it's about a good rotation, because guess what? Slayton goes down. I bet you want to have, Odell Beckham on the team. If any of these guys, Darnell Mooney goes down, I'm pretty sure you're happy with having an Odell Beckham on the team. Even more than a Dalen Camry, even though he's having a great summer. Even more than Isaiah Hodgins, even though I really am a fan of Isaiah Hodgins, man, great story. I would much rather have an Odell Beckham on the field, because guess what? When he steps on the field, no matter how old he is, people pay attention. And when I mean people, I mean players. When I mean players, I'm talking about safeties. They pay attention. And guess who that helps? Neighbors, Likely, and everybody else that's on the field playing with Odell Beckham. So I'm happy about that. Jim Simpson says, Dash, you right about us playing down to the competition usually, but not today. That was pretty much the best thing that I got from today. You treated a bad team like a bad team. That's preparation down to our even when we got into the third and fourth quarter, when a lot of you guys probably turned the TV off and stuff like that. Not everybody. even our third and fourth team were prepared. And we already know those guys don't even get a lot of snaps in practice. But the mental reps that they're getting watching the first and second team, third team, even those guys are out there and they're prepared. That speaks volumes of what this coaching staff is doing for this team. So I'm happy with today. I'm absolutely happy with today. It's not about winning or beating the Dolphins. It's about how we looked. And that's it. Shout out to my man Ghost Dog, Big Talk in the building. What's going on, Ghost? Another fantastic New York Giants content creator. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out my man Ghost. He says, peace and salute to the mighty Dash and the chat. I appreciate the love and support, man. I really do. Moist No Drip says, Theo, most receptions, that's still Dart's favorite target. We got to have a real conversation about that, Moist. Pause. Yeah. We got to have a real conversation about that. I do believe that Theo Johnson in the past was the safety valve or the safety blanket for Jackson Dart. How much 12 personnel we do is a question, right? How much 12 personnel? How many times are going to be two tight ends on the field? And then if there are two tight ends on the field, how many of those targets are going to Theo Johnson? Now, what Theo Johnson does as a tight end is more traditional than what Isaiah Likely does. So he's absolutely going to have his role. And also when Theo Johnson is on the field, depending on how, the reads go, or going through his progressions, where he's at on that list, he might get a lot of targets, but I don't know him being the favorite target. I don't know if that's going to equal the volume this year, because last year he was his favorite target, but you saw in preseason so far, and even in the practice and also the game last week when he did play, Dart is using Isaiah Likely a lot. So I think Isaiah Likely might mess around and have more targets than Malik Neighbors. If y'all feel like that's a hot take, say it's a hot take. If you guys understand where I'm coming from, say you understand. But I think that there's a chance that Isaiah Likely can get more targets. I'm not saying every game, but at the end of the year, there's a chance that Likely could have more targets than Malik. But we don't know when Malik is coming back, for sure. So that's something else we got to talk about. Our name says 500 yards. 500 yards for who? Wow, 500 yards. I'm missing the conversation. What's the 500 yards about? Let me know. Shout out to CT74808 with the $2 super chat. Appreciate the love and support. How's it going? How you doing? Papa Joe with the $2 super chat says, we didn't have starters out there, so why complain? Somebody complaining? Somebody complaining out there? CT also says, but the team looks and feels different. Odell deserves a shot, no question. He's getting his shot. I think that touchdown today would have went a long way, though. Like, to me, I think it solidifies him as being on the roster. He comes down with that catch, the way that Winston threw that ball, like I said, went up high. The weather conditions, comes down, gets 2 feet in. He's on the 53. Now, I already believe that he's on the 53 anyway, but I think for a lot of people that are still a little bit hesitant, if he comes down with that touchdown today, I believe a lot of people will feel the same way. Now, speaking of wide receivers, right? Earlier this week, middle of the week, actually, there were some rumors that some teams have been calling the New York Giants about Darnell Mooney. Now, we like the new addition of Darnell Mooney. Last week, we saw nothing from Darnell Mooney. This week, we're hearing that teams are calling for Darnell Mooney. Are you guys willing to trade Darnell Mooney? In the comment section, you can just say yes or no. You can give me an explanation of why. You can say what you would give up for him, or what you would take for him, or what you would sell him. Sell him sounds crazy. What you would trade him for. But let me know in the comment section. Darnell Mooney, trade rumors. Yes or no? What would the pick be? Shout out to my man, Coach Ed, in the building with the $9.99 super chat. Says, I love the fullback dive for the first set. I got to ask you a question about that, though. I instantly thought of you playing at UHS. Now, listen, I played in the wing tee. Obviously, if you play fullback in the wing tee, which I did, you actually get the ball pretty much. You get the ball a lot. 24 trap, 26 trap was my favorite play in high school. 33 wham, favorite play in high school. That's what I like to do. On that fullback dive, because I think it was that the fullback dive where you had the 22 personnel and it was Singletary and Tracy. Is that the one you're talking about? And they gave it to the up back. I don't know if that was the fullback. Was that Finley? I thought they went in that. And was that actually? I don't know if that was that just a regular I formation under center, and he gave it to the up back, or was that a split backfield? Let me know. I didn't get a chance. I had only watched the game during the live. I have not watched the replay yet, so I will go back and watch some of that. But let me know, Coach J, because you're the professional, man. I go by what you say too, man. Especially when it comes down to breaking down film. So let me know what that play was, or if I'm even talking about the right play, Coach. Kenneth Perkins says I would rather trade Slayton than Mooney. I hear you, but that price tag. What if they're not interested? What if they're not interested in Slayton, but they're interested in Mooney? What do you do then? That's the easy comment. Like you're defaulting, right? You're getting away from the question that I asked you, Mr. Perkins. Mooney, would you trade Mooney? Say somebody like you said, Houston, the Houston Texans got all these injuries happening, right? The 49ers just signed Debo, but Mike Evans went down. There's some teams that need some wide receivers because some wide receivers went down. If teams are calling for Mooney, in order for you to pick up that phone, what are you asking for in return for Mooney? Again, he's not making a lot of money. A lot of his contract is incentives. If somebody said, I'll give you a 5th round pick for Mooney right now, what are you doing? I'm just curious to see what people will say. What's the temperature in the room? My man Born for Sports is in the building, said, watch out, Texas making a possible move. They just lost Higgins in practice. That's what we're just talking about. Our name says, what did Slayton do? He caught a bunch of passes today. That's what he did. Jen Extra says Houston just signed Sterling. They signed Sterling Shepard and one other person, Zay Jones. That's what they signed, Zay Jones and Sterling Shepard. I mean, come on. As much as I like Shep, still. Okay, yeah, that is it. Okay, yeah. I thought it was fantastic. That's football. That's hardball. Running in between the tackles, and he did it with Devin Singletary. Not the biggest running back, but it was successful. So no, I loved it. I loved it. Yep, and what's crazy? That was Tracy's first play back on the field, if I'm not mistaken, after the fumble. Because I thought he was going to be all the way in the doghouse. But I saw him back there. They gave it to the up back, get the first down completion again. That's just regular football for a lot of regular teams out there. But for the New York Giants, it means a little bit more to us because we have not seen competent play in a long time. Jim Simpson says OBJ about 250 yards this year. 250 yards would be good for Odell. Odell getting 250, that'd be good. That would be absolutely good. I'm good with that. Joe Harlem says Mooney actually said he chose the Giants because of Dart. So I say we keep him. Try and trade Slayton for a 3rd or 4th. This is what I'm going to say in this scenario. Keep everybody. Keep everybody. I'm not trading anybody unless they give me an offer. I can't refuse. But I'm not trading anybody until I know what the New York Giants are. Just because we got a little bit of depth this year on paper, just because we got some depth on paper, doesn't mean we can start trading away players like it's nothing. No, I want to keep all of our good players. I want to keep everybody that's a possible contributor to this team. It's a long season, 17 games. People got to stay healthy. You're going to deal with bumps and bruises. The more bodies, the more quality depth that you have, the better. Because what happens? You trade Mooney, somebody goes down, you're going to wish you still had Mooney. You're not worried about the draft pick you got for Mooney, especially if the New York Giants are competitive this year in any kind of playoff hunt. You want to have access to all of these players. So for me, I'm not trading anybody. The shop's closed, man. I did like the trade of Daniel Falele, though. I did like that. And in honor of Daniel Falele, we talked about it last week. I'm going to talk about it right now. And I said it in the live with Cop Pizzle. Daniel Falele traded for a 6th-round pick. Could you imagine that? The New York Giants got a 6th-round pick for Daniel Falele after a preseason game where he looked absolutely awful. But out of respect for Daniel Falele, we got to let him know.
Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey.
Thank you for the 5th-round pick, Jacksonville Jaguars, and they got fleeced. The Jaguars got fleeced. What? You get a 6th-round pick for Daniel Falele. Oh, my gosh. We got a 6th. He didn't even step on the field for us, and we got a 6th-round, regular season. We got a 6th-round pick for him. Guess who was a 6th-round pick last year? Jack Kelly. I should say this year, Jack Kelly, right? J.C. Davis, who looked damn good today. He was a 6th-round. Bobby Jameson Travis today got a sack. He was a 6th-round pick. We don't know what that 6th-round pick is going to turn into. But guess what? Thank you to the Jacksonville Jaguars and their GM that looks like Eddie Munster. Thank you for the 6th-round pick. I appreciate it. Where we at? Andre Graham, what's going on? He says, "Oh, Tracy, you got one more time to mess up again, or he'll be in the doghouse for the whole season." Listen, he might be in a doghouse right now. They put a doghouse on the plane. He might be in the doghouse right now. I don't know. He did get back on the field though. So as far as being in the doghouse, it wasn't that far deep into the doghouse because he got back on the field after the fumble. So, Jersey 732, shout out to Jersey in the building. He says, my best friend was killed in a car accident in Apopka, Florida Tuesday. If you could, can you please send some shout outs to my brother Justin? Thank you. Much respect, Big Blue Nation for life. So first off, I'm going to say, my condolences. Sorry for your loss for one of your to your best friend. And man, shout out to Justin. Shout out to Justin, man. Rest in peace. But shout out to Jersey too, man. Was he from Jersey too? Let me know. Was he from Jersey? One of my Jersey brothers? Matty O. Jags lost most their offensive line to injury. Just for context, so they were desperate. Man, you had what's the guy out there? You had Kevin Zeitler out there. There's some other people out there, man, that you could have possibly got off of the couch. But again, thank you, Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you. Atlantic JM at J Band says Mooney's brother got married and he was the best man today. That's what it was. That's why he was going. How do you know that? I almost believe you. I almost believe you. But how do you know that, Atlantic JM? Let me know. He says slander. Oh, man, Reggie, what's going on? Reggie said, what up, Big Blue Nation? What up, Dash? Good game, but yeah, things still don't look the greatest. Come on, Reggie. What didn't look good today? Let me know, Reggie. Kicking game was good. Punting game was good. Offense was able to move the ball. Offensive line looked good. Jameis Winston looked good. Even Darius Slayton looked good today. Let me know what didn't look the greatest. They did break off a couple of run plays. I will say that. Right up the middle. I will say that. And they even got the running back up out of it after that. But let me know, man. Let me know, Reggie. Dealer says, our name, yeah. That's why Slayton was employed before camp and Odell was begging for a job. He'd still be begging for a job if Gunner didn't get her. Good Lord. Just tell him you don't like him, man. That's it. We ain't got to go no further. Just tell the people you don't like them, you don't want them on the team. That's it. Because they're gonna go on forever. Only trolls love Slayton. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh man, Pickle Buster with the $2 super chat says, is this preseason hype better than last year? Last year we was undefeated, right? We was undefeated in preseason last year. Listen, the hype was pretty. The hype was there. There was a lot of hype there. But you still had Dable and you still had Shane Bowen, and we were still sitting here saying that these weren't the guys. But we were like, you know what? We're in the car. It's too late now. Let's just root for this team. And then absolutely what we thought was going to happen happened. Coaches got fired, and then a coach got hired. Now, when we move to 2026, is the preseason hype better than last year? I think it is. The optimism comes from John Harbaugh, in my opinion. Because we all summer, even in training camp, they talked about how the offense was struggling against the first team defense and this, that, and the third. But I think the confidence comes from John Harbaugh being in the building. So I will say, yes, the preseason hype is better than what it was last year. Better flavor of Kool-Aid, man. Better Kool-Aid, period, this year than last year. Shout out to my man Tremaine with the 2 jewels. Again, I do not know what the jewels mean. I'm going to have to Google this. But shout out to the Silver Star. I appreciate the love and support. I do see a lot of people saying their condolences in there. Absolutely. Thank you. Show our fellow Giants their support for sure, man. Shout out to my man Jersey 732. Mark Thompson says, hey, Dad, shouting you out. Went to the game. The Giants were dominant today. I can't trust it just yet. Now I got questions, man. Now I got questions, man. But now I did see you was out there with my man Shawnee from Giants Rush. Joker Sean was out there too. You guys got rained on, and that's funny too, man, because I know you went to the Giants game, it was raining there. You down in Miami, it's raining there. You bring the rain with you, man. I need some rain over this way. Damn desert out here. Mechanic said Jersey, that's a fact. Michael says if Slayton was not making all that money, he would not make this team this year, Dash. This is the second time you made a statement, and I can't argue with you tonight. You are batting 1,000 right now. You're absolutely right. I think he would have been gone if he wasn't making as much money as he's making right now. But also, if he wasn't making that much money, he might be worth keeping. I think the biggest problem of what we had was he was making the amount of money that he was making, but he was also not doing the job that he's getting paid all that money to do. That seemed like a lot. But you understand what I'm saying. Hold on to the ball. And guess what he did today? He held on to the ball. And that's all. That's his job. That's the wide receiver's job at the end of the day. Luann says, Dash, do you think Harbaugh will want to run the ball more than pass? Because I want Dart to have 30 touchdowns. First part of that question, yes. I do believe Harbaugh will want to run more than he wants to pass. That's how you control the clock. Now, there's a couple different reasons for this, though. If you feel like your team can compete, I can't say even like heads up. So, all right, I'll just give you an example. First game is against Dallas. Dallas's offense is high-powered. Even last year, Dallas's offense was high-powered. Do you believe that the New York Giants can win a shootout with the Dallas Cowboys? If the answer is no, then how do you control that game? By running the ball. You got a high-powered offense, keep them on the sideline. How do you keep them on the sideline? You control the clock. How do you control the clock? You be successful running the ball. And I think Harbaugh is just old school in that way. Now, also with that, if you are successful running the ball, what do you do after that? The play action opens up the passing game. So I do believe that we're going to be more run than pass as long as it's successful, but Harbaugh's not going to be afraid to have Nagy push the ball downfield with Jackson Dart. Hopefully that answers that question. And Martinez said we did go 3-0 last year. That's right. It didn't mean a damn thing. It didn't mean a damn thing. That's right. That actor did pass too. Eddie Kane. What's his name? Charles Wright? Not Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright is the guy from I can't remember his name, but everybody knows him. Most iconic role is Eddie Kane from the 5 Heartbeats. He did pass away yesterday too, so rest in peace to him too. I know his last name is right. Can't remember his first name right now. But yeah, rest in peace to Eddie Kane too. And if, like I said, some people like, what are the 5 Heartbeats? If you know, you know. And if you don't know, I feel sorry for you. That's what the 5 Heartbeats are. Almost broke out in the song and caught myself because I can't sing. Luann says, you calling me oh, boy. Well, never mind. Who you beefing with? Y'all leave Luann alone in there. Tremaine says, why y'all acting like Odell the same than he was when he was here the first time? Give him a break. I think, listen, I can't speak for everybody. My expectations were never that Odell Beckham was going to be the same guy that he was when he left. My expectation was for Odell to be a good addition to the wide receiver room. He brings some guidance to some of these young wide receivers, and if he can hold on and make enough plays to get on the team, then cool. But I think right now he's already shown that he can be a portion of what he was as far as being able to get open, solid hands. I keep saying that, but again, he did have the big drop for the touchdown today. But every other pass target his way, he was able to bring it down. So man, I don't think everybody's acting like that, but some people are, some people, that might be the narrative, but I don't think so. Slayton did nothing as a player. When today, he did good today. I tell you this, man, and this is not me advocating for Slayton. Slayton has done enough. Slayton has done enough to stick around. Just like today was just enough for people to fall back a little bit. Maybe not everybody, but for me, I fell back a little bit. The criticism of him with the drops is one thing, but he had a game where he actually held on to the ball. Out of respect, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I got to fall back a little bit. Now, had he had a bunch of drops today, full speed ahead, foot on next. But he did good today. I gotta respect that. I can't hate him for that. He did a good job today. Productive today. Yeah, that is bad. He said he was begging. Said Odell was begging. That's crazy. Was he begging? Was Odell Beckham begging? I think Odell Beckham really wanted another chance to prove himself. I wouldn't necessarily call that begging. And I already know you probably being a little bit, over dramatic with the begging thing, just for emphasis. But I really do believe he has something that he wants to prove. And he has a chance to do that. So I'm rooting for Odell Beckham. That's where I'm going to be at on that in this conversation. Shout out to Ghost Killer 250. Became a brand new member. Welcome to the Big Blue Nations. And welcome to the New York Giants family reunion, Ghost. Shout out to you. And I appreciate the love and support. I'm gonna leave that conversation alone because I see Luann is going back. Luann ain't taking no trash talk from none of you guys. I'm telling you that right now. She ain't about to play with y'all. H-Town, what's going on, H-Town? He says Slayton has produced when Giants had nobody. Unfortunately, he isn't consistent. That's a fact. Or dependable. But he doesn't give up on the team, and possibly the staff can maximize his production. We saw it today. All we ask for is when the man is targeted that he holds on to the ball. That should be the main point of how we feel about him. Today, he happened to hold on to the ball. Tomorrow, he might not. But today, he did that. What have you done for me lately, Darius Slayton? You held on to the ball. 4 catches, I believe, on 4 targets today. Or was it 5 catches? Whatever. What have you done for me lately, Darius Slayton? You did a good job today. There it is. That's where I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. Luann says, true. Run like Coughlin did. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Got to be able to control the clock. Just think about this, man. We got Dallas who can score points. Last year, they couldn't stop a nosebleed on defense. Gave up the most points out of all the teams last year. And then right after that, we got the freaking Rams. We got the Rams right after that. We got to be able to control this clock early. Now, who knows? The New York Giants can go out there and be lights out. Jackson Dart can be on fire the first 2 games. And then guess what? I'm just going to shut up and enjoy the show. But Harbaugh knows that at the end of the day, if that passing game is failing you, you can always lean on the running game if you're successful at running the ball. And that's what he wants to build. He wants to build that infrastructure of being a physical team that runs the ball and is successful, and then everything else works off of that. So listen, we've had a lot of offensive minds in here. Dable was offensive mind. Pat Shermer was an offensive mind. Ben McAdoo was an offensive mind. We got a head coach here, a facilitator. And you got Nagy, Greg Roman, and Brian Callahan pretty much making this offensive scheme up. And he's gonna let those guys cook, man. That's it. Who was it? It was Andrew Thomas was at the podium this week, and they asked him a question about the run game, and he absolutely loves what Greg Roman is bringing. This running scheme, he absolutely loves it. He's saying that he called him a genius. That's his words. Andrew Thomas called Greg Roman a genius as far as his blocking schemes and stuff like that. So I just love to hear stuff like that. And then when you see a game like this week, you understand because the starters weren't in there. But guess what? First team ran the ball today. Second team was successful running the ball today. Third team, not so much. Once they got the Bankston and stuff like that, it wasn't that successful. But also you saw the scheme out there. So I was happy with today. Happy with the production today. I didn't call you trolls. I didn't. That's what the comments said. He don't want to say anybody that still is a troll. I didn't say none of that. I ain't say none of that. Mattios's slate was awesome today. Yes, he was. Got to give credit when credit's due. Atlantic JM says Bobby Skinner was raving about J.C. Davis today. That's high praise for sure. Can we finally draft good offensive line consistently? You know why that's even more important? Because J.C. Davis, right, played left tackle today. Again, I agree with Bobby Skinner. He had a fantastic game. He played the whole damn game almost. If I'm not mistaken, he got every snap because he was in there in the fourth quarter. He did a really good job today. He looked really good in pass pro. He looked really good with some of those down blocks, getting to the second level. He looked really good. And again, this is off the first look. I haven't gone back to watch it again. But you didn't hear his name get called at all. And when it comes to offensive linemen, you don't want your name to be called during games. That means you're doing your job. So my question is this. He's on the left side. Obviously, Andrew Thomas is a staple at left tackle. Do they make the move after this year? Because John Runyon contract year, he might be gone. Who's your backup left guard? You can't keep running Aaron Stinney back because he's getting older. So imagine that. To your point, the New York Giants drafting good offensive linemen. I'm here for that. I'm absolutely here for that. So it's good to hear, man. I got to check out that too from Bobby Skinner. If I'm not mistaken, are they still live right now? I think we end up going live around the same time. So I don't know. I know he usually does about an hour and he get up out of there. I know we going about 2 hours today. Who you watched again? Who you talking to? Who? Matty-O going after somebody. Matty-O, is that 83? Is that 1983? Let me know, Matty-O. Is that 1983? Is that what the 83 is for? Let me know. Man, Dicker says Jeffrey Wright. That is his name, Jeffrey Wright. Thank you. I knew it was something like that. Eddie Kane, man. Eddie Kane, 70 years old, man. That Leon who said Otis, yeah, that was Leon that said nobody came to see you, Otis. And that was also from, I think that was from the Temptations movie, though. That won the 5 Heartbeats. 5 Heartbeats was I got nothing but love for you, baby. That's 5 Heartbeats. And then at the end with the church song, that's a classic too, man. 5 Heartbeats, man. Oh boy, dealer. Boy, when I tell you, I wish I had the meme of Braveheart with Mel Gibson saying hold, because that's dealer every time. That man be holding on 10 toes down with his comments without any shake. Steadfast. Steadfast in his comments. He's gonna stand on all 10 of them toes, man. Who sells hats on YouTube? I sell hats on YouTube. This hat is on YouTube. Yeah, so thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Isaac. If you're talking about me in the hat, this hat is in the store. You can actually not click out of the video, but if you scroll down, you can actually see the links to the store. But yeah, Big Dash knows on Spreadshop. But all the hats, listen, I got one design, man. I've been holding on to it, right? It's actually available right now. And depending on what happens week 1, the hat is coming out. The hat is coming out. And listen, If you see the hat, you understand what I'm saying. And if you see the hat, you know what I mean when I say I need this hat week 1. But that's the next one, and I'm not going to wear it. I'm not going to wear it to week 1. To week 1, and hopefully post game live recap Sunday Night Football, I'll be having that hat on. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. Papa Joe says, sorry, Perkins 994 didn't mean to call you Slayton naysayers fools, but he will fool everyone. You ain't have to super chat for that, but I guess you want to put some emphasis on that, Papa Joe, so I respect it. I respect your gangster. Dan Smith, what's going on? Anthony Cherry says, shout out birthday to Giant legend Bill Parcells, 85 years. Shout out to the tuna, man. Shout out to the tuna. Happy birthday, Bill Parcells, 85 years young. The originator of the Gatorade dump. Shout out to Bill Parcells. Happy birthday, Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells probably asleep right now, too. Hopefully he had a good birthday. Our name, who stats are these? Our name, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns versus 500 yards. Who we talking about? I missed that conversation. Matthew says Neighbors Field, Slayton, OBJ, Mooney, Austin. That's where I'm at too. Neighbors Field, Slayton, OBJ, Mooney, Austin. I'm happy with that. That's what I said 2 weeks ago. I'm sticking with that. I think the New York Giants only keep 6 wide receivers, and I will be happy if those are the 6 wide receivers. I understand the Braxton Berrios and what he brings to the table, but hopefully everybody saw today what Calvin Austin can do for the offense, and he has that extra gear, that extra shiftiness that I don't believe Berrios has, but I do think that Berrios is valuable, and I do think if the New York Giants end up cutting Berrios, he will get picked up somewhere else. But right now, that's my wide receiver room. I'm agreeing with you 100%, Matt. Neighbors Field, Slayton, OBJ, Mooney, and Austin, unless somebody calls, with an offer that Joe Shane can't refuse on Darnell Mooney. But that's what I have too. That's where I'm at. That dark friend, what's going on? You see, you got the wrench too, so you can snipe people too when they being disrespectful. He says, first time with the mod roll, YouTube pick some random. I did that. I did that, and I appreciate that. Let me know, man. Let me know if it's too much work too, man. If it's too much work, let me know. I ain't think it was gonna be too much work, but let me know. You ain't got to if you don't want to. Just let me know. Hit me up. I'll take the wrench away if you don't want it. I was looking for some goons to be in there to snipe stuff for me in case it's too busy for me. I said, man, that dark friend is good to me. Let me see if he wants to snipe something. Let me see if he wants to snipe something. Michael says, Dash, I missed who's super chat? I missed the pickle super chat. What we talking? Hold on. Pickle Buster. Oh, no, I got to it. That's how far behind I am in the comments. Where am I at? 7? Oh, boy. I'm 5 minutes behind in the comments. I do apologize. I do want to get to the front. I don't want to skip everybody, though. Prentice says, Marcus Bo Davis, our future battle at left guard. You know what the thing is with Marcus Bo? Marcus Bo does not fit the body type that Harbaugh likes as guard. I think because Marcus Bo was 305 pounds, maybe 310 pounds. He might be strong enough. Was he 6'3"? He might be 6'4". But Davis just looks like a Harbaugh guard. And then also, you might end up needing Marcus Bo at center, depending on what happens with JMS. I wish that we would have got a chance to see more Marcus Bo at center this year, but they didn't want to do it. So we got to figure that out. We got to figure out the center spot, man, because if JMS does not work out, it's two things that can happen. JMS can solidify himself as a center, and then you got to pay him, or JMS can end up being awful, and you let him walk, and you still got to replace him. So the New York Giants got to address the center spot in 2027 regardless. But I would have liked to have an option of Marcus Bo at center, and I was absolutely against this last year, even parts of the spring, because I like Marcus Bo's feet. And I like his feet on the outside. He showed that he can hold up on the outside at tackle. But you want your best 5 people on the field. And for me, Marcus Bowe still feels like he's one of the top 5 guys. I believe he's better than Runyon. But I don't know if he's a better guard than Runyon is a guard right now. And that's crazy, too, because I don't even like Runyon. But Runyon, another person that I got to give credit when credit's due, Runyon, in these past 2 preseason games, I have nothing bad to say about him. And you guys know, Runyon is not my favorite, has not been my favorite. But guess what? What did I do the past 2 weeks about Runyon? I have shut up about Runyon. Or either I've given, him his flowers. And last week he did a good job. This week Runyon did a good job. I can't wait to see Bobby Skinner's breakdown on the offensive line. But yeah. And then also Coach Ed, I know Coach Ed was doing some breakdowns too. So let me know, Coach Ed, if you're going to do a breakdown on the offensive line, if you're still in the building. Odell versus Slayton, that is not where the competition is, our name. That's unless that's not what you mean by that. I do not think that's the competition because first off, Slayton off the money alone is beating out everybody. There's no real battle with Slayton with anybody. The only battle with Slayton is if somebody calls and wants to trade for him, and maybe we pick up half of the contract, and the other team eats the other half. But other than that, Slayton is on the roster. Slayton is on. He has games like we talk bad about Slayton, then he has a game like this, and you got to shut up for a bit. But guess what? We know at some point in this season he's gonna have a drop, and it's gonna be a big one. It's really gonna be a big one, and we're gonna be right back in the same boat, cursing him out. JV says Harry Carson created the Gatorade dump on too. That's a fact. I was saying it in the other live. 2 things happened in that same Super Bowl: the first Gatorade dump, and the first time the MVP of the Super Bowl said, "I'm going to Disney World." That's same Super Bowl, same team, same winners. That was created by the New York Giants. Maybe not Phil Simms, saying I'm going to Disney World. Somebody told him to say that, but he was the first quarterback or the first MVP of the Super Bowl to make that statement. I don't know if he got a card or was he still giving out cards back then? I don't know. I'm old, but I wasn't that old. I was alive for that Super Bowl, but I damn sure wasn't watching. Too young. Didn't know what I was looking at then. Dealer says it'll calm down in the chat once Odell gets cut, maybe another week or 2. Listen, man, you know what's crazy? You got to hold it, man. Pause. The title of troll, man, you are absolutely trolling right now, Dealer. And you know it. You know it. You know you trolling right now. All right, man. We'll be at and I see Tremaine going right, but yeah, you guys, I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing. I had another talking point. It was defensive tackles. I wanted to talk about that. Hold on, let me get this question. Joe Edwards says, Dash, does Hodgins make the team? No, Hodgins does not make the team. And you know what? I respect Hodgins so much. I'm not going to play him the hey, hey, hey song. I'm not going to do that. I like his story. I like him as a player. I like what he stands for. And when the opportunity presents himself, he made plays for the New York Giants. I can't take back, and I don't even want to take back what Hodgins did for that 2022 season, especially what he did in that playoff game against the Vikings. Hodgins will always get my respect. But with that being said, he ain't making this team. He's not making the team. It's not happening, unfortunately. I do believe that they keep him on the practice squad if he wants to do that. I don't know if he gets a call from any other teams. I do think that he can play on a lot of different teams. I think he's good enough to be an NFL wide receiver, better than a practice squad guy. But it's just not, the numbers game is not in his favor. Number game is not in his favor. Vaporizer, what's going on, man? How you doing, man? I saw you had a couple comments, man. I think it's the first one I got to, though. Said, what's good, Dash? The game was awesome. My son is 2, so he didn't know what was happening, but he loved the dancing parts in between and a little flirting with ladies around. Great game. Loved it. Well, you're able to keep them dry, though, because that rain was pouring, man. That rain was pouring. I'm happy that you got to experience that with your son. Hopefully, like I said before, hopefully you got a lot of pictures, because these are memories. These are memories that you can have, and then when they get older, they can share those moments with you, man. So hopefully you took a lot of pictures out there, man. Let's see. Jim Simpson says Marcus Bowe has a talent to be a starter. I believe that too. Yep, I do. Classy TKO says JMS is so frustrating because he's good when healthy, but the injuries are so. He got issues with his neck. He got issues with his shoulders, man. He, he gets stingers. He got issue with he just got out of concussion. Yeah, man, it's hard to try to give him money. He's been injured every season. He has not played a full season yet, man. And it's not like it's going to get any easier playing the center position. You're getting hit, like it's for sure you're getting hit every play. Like for certain positions, they don't get hit every single game. Even linebackers on occasion don't get hit on some plays. But if you play in that offensive line, you get hit every play. If you're playing center, you're getting hit damn near every snap, for sure. Shout out to Sean Jackson. Said, Dash, good work by the Giants beating up the Dolphins. He says, in practice during today's game earlier, is Tracy Jr. playing for his spot on the New York Giants? Are the Giants starters playing at all versus Jets? Listen, I was absolutely wrong today. I thought the starters were going to play today as a dress rehearsal because a lot of teams do that. And then they sit for that third game. Nobody plays. I'm scared to answer this question. But I will say, I don't think the starters are going to play against the Jets. They're not going to do any joint practices. I didn't see anything like that, so that part sucks. As far as Tracy playing for his spot, I don't think he's playing for a spot on the roster, but it might be where he falls into the depth chart. I do believe that might be up for grabs, but he's definitely making the 53. Now, is he running back 2 when the season starts, or is he running back 3 when the season starts? That's what I think the question is now, and it sucks too because he was productive today. He ran the ball very well. He showed some bursts too. He had those first 2 carries that he had. What he had, like 25 yards on 2 carries. So he was looking good today. He looked fast today, and we cheered for him today. He just had another big mistake. But I do believe he makes a 53 no matter what. It's just about, is he running back 2 or is he running back 3 right now? And I mean, that's not a question for me. I still believe he's running back 2 because he just gives you that extra. You saw it today. He gives you that burst, but also there's some bad that comes with it. But I think his spot is safe right now. Can't guarantee it, though, because it's John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh is a sniper right now. You see it. This is the first time I've seen this much movement by the New York Giants in the preseason. Waving guys, claiming people, stuff like that. A lot of all this movement, and it's not just injury based either. Yeah, they're really trying to put together the best 53 that they can for the 2026 season. And guess what? We deserve that. We got professionals in the building. We got a real head coach in the building. They're doing things that we have not seen in a while. And yes, that feels fantastic. Captain Guy, what's going on? He said, yo, Big Dash, I'm here for the family reunion. I'm glad. I love when people say that too, man, because some people, if you might be new out there, this is absolutely what Captain God is saying. This is a New York Giants family reunion, and hopefully you guys feel that way. I just call it late night Giants talk. But sometimes when we get in this space, outside of Giants stuff, we just start chatting it up, man, and we have a good time, just like at a family reunion. And I don't know about you guys. I'm a little bit older. Family reunions used to be fire. Nowadays, for me personally, you don't see too many family reunions like you used to. Maybe your family, is more alive and active than mine. But I know when I was a kid, it was different. Now, you don't see too many family reunions out there. Cut and Pete. You don't see Cut and Pete that much. Some people that just flew right over your heads. But some of y'all know what I'm talking about or what I'm referring to. Cut and Pete. Man Dinka says the starting quarterback is working on taking snaps from center in training camp, and y'all aren't worried. No, I'm not worried. Who you talking about? All right, is this a comment for us or you talking about somebody else? Let me know. Because, Jackson Dart does not take – that's not something that he did a lot. So, yes, he's taking snaps from center in training camp. I'm not worried about it. But I also know if I say the magic word Jameis Winston, that's your guy. I don't forget. I know you're a Jameis Winston fan. I know it. Jim Simpson says Pugh said that the scheme would benefit both Runyon and JMS from Big Blue Banter. I didn't see that, so that's fantastic. They have him on the show. They quoted him. Let me know. But now shout out to Justin Pugh. And it looks like it. It really does look like Runyon is looking good. He's actually Runyon is looking good in this system. Runyon might even be looking better than JMS in this system. Again, no real games played yet, but I'm just saying how these guys look. It looks good. CT, what's going on? He says that's all these youngins fans, or these young fans, didn't have to live through Dave Brown and Ray Handley days. Yeah, that's a fact. But listen, for a lot of these young fans, right? Like my kids are young fans. They don't know any better. This is the worst. Like this is the worst they've seen, because they have friends that are not Giants fans, and they have friends whose other teams are successful, and you know they got to come to school. They got to go to school Monday morning, and they can't hold their head up high because why? Because the Giants have been trash. So for them, it's bad days. Like for me, I was young during when Dave Brown was here, and yeah. I told you guys the story. The worst thing I ever did was buy a Dave Brown jersey, but I wanted a jersey so bad at the time, and I was super young, that I bought a Dave Brown jersey. And what happened? They laughed it right off of my back when I got to school. So now I understand. And we ain't even gonna get into Ray Handley, though. I don't even want to talk about it, man. We talking about John Harbaugh. And everybody else going on in 2026. I don't need that dark cloud, CT. The dark cloud of the mid-90s. I don't need it. That dark friend says Hodgins will always find a place because he can catch. True. You figure last year he was with the practice squad on the Steelers before he came to us. And like I said, for me, I think he's good enough to get a practice squad spot here. But who knows? He might want more than that. So we'll see what happens with that. Craig says, Hyatt gone. Does he go to the CFL? I think he should. If anything, he go to the UFL first. If he can't get on it, because somebody's going to give Hyatt another chance. Trust and believe. So somebody wants to be like, you know what? That was Hyatt on the Giants, on the Dable. It was a mess. We saw what he did at Tennessee, Blintnikoff winner. Let's give him a try. I think if Hyatt gets cut here, somebody else is going to give him a chance. They might not add him to the 53, but he probably will go to another team's practice squad. I think he's good enough to do that. And he'll get another chance. And you know what? For Hyatt, as a person, love him. Love him. As a player, I try my best to support him. But he might just need a fresh start somewhere else. And hopefully wherever he goes, I'm hoping for the best for him. Because I remember what he did to my Alabama Crimson Tide, man, that year. What was it, 5 touchdowns in that game? I still remember that. And I thought that maybe he could tap into that while he was with the Giants. And we saw a glimpse of that in that Arizona game his rookie year coming out of the half. And then really didn't see much after that. But it is what it is. T-Tom, what's going on? He says, I'm late. LOL, Deilla, come on. Odell ain't getting cut. Listen, man, Deilla's on a roll tonight. T-Tom, he's on a roll tonight. And you are not getting him off of his pivot right now. Not getting him. He is standing firm. Again, all 10 toes for sure. Oh man. Papa Joe, thank you for the love and support. $5 super chat. Just getting that deal. He says, why Deal is so negative on Odell? At his age, you have to give him credit for trying. Hey, go ahead, Dealer. He asked you that question. Hyatt is only keeping the number 13 warm until he gets cut from the 50 man. Yeah, it's over for him, man. He got what? Was it 10 days now? Is it 10 days? No, 8 days. Next Sunday is the cut down day. The 30th. That's next Sunday. Yep. Next Sunday is the cut down day. So that jersey's gone. 13 to be up for grabs. My biggest question is this for anybody. Let me know. Like, we worry about Odell Beckham and what jersey number he might get. But the real question is, what jersey number is Malachi Fields taking? Because he can't keep 0. Let me know in the comment section. I had this discussion on the show as well. I'm thinking 88 will look good on Malachi Fields. Let me know if you guys agree with that. Shout out to Shakedown Shenanigans, my man LRP in the building. He says, I chop up Tracy to just a series of bad luck. I think he will be fine. I hope they don't run him out of town. I hope not either, man. Like you saw it today. again, but he has to clean that up, man. Harbaugh's not having it. Because the first time he does that in a real game, we think he's in the doghouse. Now he's gonna be under the doghouse, not in it. He mess around in Dallas and fumble, or he mess around in Dallas and miss a block. We won't see him again to Tennessee, to week 3 probably. He definitely won't be in there in the Rams game with those guys coming after Jackson Dart. Hell no. Pardon my French. Fonzarelli, what's going on? He says, Dash, you going to the Cardinals game? What Cardinals game? Well, the Cardinals game is not in Arizona. It's in Jersey this year. Now, if the Cardinals was playing, if that game was out in Arizona, then yeah, 100%. Mark says Odell going to show Dallas again. I hope so, man. I really wanted that touchdown bad today for Odell, man. I'm not going to say I wanted it as bad as he did because you saw his reaction to it. But, yeah, I really wanted that touchdown bad. Corinne Rock says Dave Brown was trash. You had that 17 on. Listen, I'm telling you right now, man. I bought it at the Union Market in Vauxhall, New Jersey on Springfield Avenue. For those that know. If you lived in Union County, Essex County, you knew about the Union Market in the early 90s. I got it out of the shop. It was on sale for $20. I was in middle school at the time. I think I was in middle school middle school. Yeah, it had to be in middle schoolers. That jersey was 10 times bigger than what I was wearing. It was like a man's 2X. And you figure I was super young at the time. So I was swimming in the jersey already. I just wanted a Giants jersey that bad. It was on sale. And I understood as soon as I got to school why it was on sale. I got smoked when I got to school. 100%. They did not take their foot off the gas. It was jokes as soon as I stepped in the hallway. It was jokes. The jersey did not make it to the end of the day. I got home. My mom said, what happened to the jersey? I told her I got dressed for gym and somebody stole the jersey. Meanwhile, I threw the jersey in the trash. Probably like second or third period, I threw it in the trash. The jersey was gone. And you know what the school trash looked like. Oh, metal trash can. They got this door that flaps like that. It was in that trash. It's in a landfill somewhere. Probably, I don't know. But the whole point was that's the story of the Dave Brown jersey. I wore it for one time only, and it didn't even make it through the whole day. But I tell you this, man, going to school that morning, I thought I was fly. I got a Giants jersey, and boy, expectations. Never let it happen again. Sean Jackson says, Dash with the poetic justice reference, Cousin Pete. That's exactly what it is. Lucky justice time flies. Next month makes 30 years since Tupac died. That's a fact. That is a fact. But yeah, you got it right. It was poetic justice. Cousin Pete. Cousin Pete. Appreciate that. Somebody let me know somebody else is damn near as old as me in here. So I appreciate that. Luann says, our name 188. That's not nice to say about Slayton. You forgot how good he was. You know what, Luann? I was trying to add you as a moderator too, because I know you got some comments you want to snipe. But then I was like, I could. Your name didn't pop up, so I wasn't able to select you. But you was definitely on my list of somebody that could snipe some comments. But I know right now you probably be sniping some other people's comments too. I don't know, maybe. OKC Donnell. I put enough emphasis on at that time. Donnell. He says, long as the secondary take this culture once the season starts, this defense should be one we're all proud of. 100%. 100%. 100%. I said it. When the show first started, I said, imagine if this secondary is actually good, not great, not top 5, not top. Imagine if this secondary is good. We can box with anybody if the secondary is good. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. If the secondary is good, we can box with everybody, because I think that much of the pass rush, also the middle linebackers, and then I'm just swinging for the fences when it comes to DJ Reed and Shelby Harris helping the running defense that much. I wish I would have been able to see those guys play today. That's still one of the biggest question marks. We went into the preseason saying that the defensive line was a question mark. Also, the secondary was a question mark, but I think the secondary has answered some questions because those guys seem to be taken to this scheme, like my man said, taken to the coaching, and they look pretty damn good. And it's not just one or two of those guys. All those guys look good in the first two preseason games. Tay Banks looked good last week. Colton Hood, rookie, still learning, but had his ups and downs last week, but I would still say a passing grade for him. But then today, Newsome, Adebo, Phillips 15 yards and in front of him. Those guys look good today, man. Newman looked good today. He was making plays. I didn't see Pinnock's name get called today, but he had a pretty good game last week. I'm happy with the secondary right now. Joe Edwards, what's going on? He says, Dash, I didn't know you were a Tide fan. He said, hell yeah, I am. My whole father's side of the family's from Alabama. He says, yes, Hyatt made us look bad. He absolutely did. Roll Tide, roll. That's a fact. Nothing but the Tide. Man, Dinker says, I'm excited to see what the special teams do because that's Harbaugh's forte. Now, here's one thing, too, about the special teams. I don't think the special teams was necessarily great this preseason. But also, when I think about that, a lot of these guys that are on the preseason special teams unit won't even be on the team. When it comes to the 53. And then you're going to see that real special teams. Like you saw Micah McFadden out there even into like the fourth quarter on special teams. He's going to be a core special teamer. Jack Kelly's going to be a core special teamer. But as far as these Gunners go, they're still trying to figure out that situation for the Gunners. And again, once you break it down to the 53, you'll be able to get your special teams unit together. All right, a lot of people saying 88 for Malachi Fields. I agree. OKC Donald says 97 with the hungry dance. Yeah, I liked it. And guess what? He needed that play. He absolutely needed that play because he let me down that first week. And we're talking about Bobby Jamison Travis. He let me down kind of that first week. He really looked like a 6th-round pick, and he looked like he was lost out there a little bit. Today, he had a better game, ended up getting a sack today. So shout out to Bobby Jamison Travis on having a good showing. And that goes a long way because, again, that behind that those starting defensive linemen, especially behind those first three, Reader, Shelby Harris, and Darius Alexander, it's wide open after those guys. So Bobby Jamison Travis really has a chance, and I don't think Topu or Lakeview Fotu are that much better than Bobby Jamison Travis is right now that he can't make this 53. And also him being a draft pick also helps him, but you got to keep making plays like that. So hopefully against the Jets next week he gets a lot more reps too, and he looks good there too because I listen, we need that type of energy on the offensive line. We lost Dexter Lawrence with the sexy Dexy. Let me get another 97 doing some dancing too. If it's the belly rub, then it's the belly rub. I'm here for that. Pickle Buster says 88 is perfect. I think so too, man. Billy O'Neill says 81 for Malachi. Tremaine says 89. I think it's definitely going to be a number in the 80s though. We don't have any single digits left. Roddy, what's going on, Roddy? My man Roddy in the building. What's going on, Roddy? He says 17 if we trade Mooney. Yeah. I mean, listen, that's the only other number that's in the teens, right? That might be available. So yeah, you know how these guys. I mean, I call them kids because I'm older. You know how these kids do, man. Malachi Fields is young. They like the single digit numbers. You know, they like the teens. But again, 88 will be mean. But I understand why you said 17, Roddy. Shout out to my man Roddy in the building. Well, we had Dad's Life. What's going on? He says, what happens if Fields wants 13? Then he'd get 13. That's exactly what happened. If he wants 13, just think about this, right? Just think about this. Fields is going to pick his number before Odell Beckham gets a chance to pick his number. No doubt in my mind. He's going to be able to. Now, do I think Fields will ask OBJ first? Like, hey, you going back to 13? Yes, I think they respect Odell Beckham enough that that they'll give him the option of having 13 before somebody else takes it. I do believe that happens. It's just respect in the room. But as far as being able to pick his number first, I think Malachi Fields will have the option to pick his number before Odell. But everybody in that room understands that you don't take you don't take 13 without Odell's blessing. I'm just saying that right now. He can't have 8, man. That's Javon Holland. Javon Holland got number 8 already. Michael says Fields needs to take 86 from Slayton because he don't deserve that number. I like 88, man. I like 88. Well, Slayton ain't even 86 anymore. That's Thomas Fedoni. Slayton is number 18. Yep, he's 18. Unapologetic manhood says, yes, sir, Union Market. Let me know. Stomping grounds, man. Stomping grounds, man. Shout out to the Union Market, man. The Union Market that was there off of Springfield Avenue became the Home Depot that's been there for over 20-some years now on Springfield Avenue in Vauxhall, New Jersey. It might have a Springfield address, though, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But Springfield Avenue, y'all know what it is, man. Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to Vauxhall, man. Gen Xer, Meg says, hey, Hudson County also knew about the market in Vauxhall. Yeah. Shout out to Vauxhall. Shout out to the 908 07088. Y'all know what it is. Kenneth Perkins says, well, think about 88. Hakeem Nicks was considered a big X receiver. You know what's crazy about Hakeem Nicks? He wasn't even as big as people thought he was. But I loved him in number 88 too, man. Like I said, it's a lot of good tradition just overall with the number 88, not just with the Giants. The number 88 is just a good wide receiver number. And Hakeem Nicks was fantastic for us. Hakeem Nicks was only like 6'1.5", though. He just had the biggest hands in the world. Like we talk about Odell Beckham's hands being big, like Hakeem Nicks' hands, I think he was like a 11, damn near 12. Hands was huge. And that's why it was so easy catching the ball, man. Hail Marys and all that stuff. Anthony Cherry says, Big Dash, I had the number 17 Giant jersey, but the only thing was it was a Plaxico Burress, not a Dave Brown. Thank goodness. Laughing out loud. Listen, you can laugh at that all you want, man. I don't even blame you. I just wanted a Giants jersey. And guess what? I was traumatized. I've only had 2 Giants jerseys my whole life. It was a Dave Brown jersey, and then around 2000, maybe 2001, actually. Yeah, 2001. I had a Tiki Barber jersey, and that was the last jersey I bought. It was a Tiki Barber jersey. Too much bad history when it comes to jerseys. Because when Tiki retired, I'm like, I'm never buying a Giants jersey ever. First jersey, Dave Brown. Second jersey is Tiki Barber. Then he ends up walking away from the New York. I'm not buying jerseys anymore. And I'm over 40 years old. I don't got a Giants jersey. I got jackets, hats, t-shirts, sweatpants, shorts, glasses, a wallet, a Giants keychain. I got blankets, all this stuff you see in the back. Refuse to buy a jersey, though. I will say this, though. I've been eyeballing a Carl Banks jersey for a while now. And I think if I do go back to buying jerseys, the first jersey I'm going to get is a Carl Banks jersey, for sure. Unapologetic Manhood says, we were at Union Market every year growing up. I'm from South Ward, North. So you know, but I have family and what's this? And nervous and not too far away from the Union Market. Listen, man, I grew up in the shadow of the Union Market, man. That's where I'm from. Shout out to Vauxhall, man. Shout out to Vauxhall. The Boy Wonder says New York Giants G-Men. That's a fact. The Boy Wonder, what's going on? JV says Plax wore 17. If you remove Brown's name, you would have been styling. Listen, first of all, like I said, there was no Plaxico Burress then. It was just Dave Brown. Again, I just bought the jersey, man. And the crazy thing about it too, man, it was the Union Market, so it could have been fake. I didn't care. I just wanted a Giants jersey. And I did. I got it. And I regretted it. Shakedown. LRP says Calvin Austin. Listen, and you know me, LRP. I was talking about Calvin Austin all summer long, all spring. I'm like, this guy is exactly what we needed to add once we lost Wan'Dale Robinson, and we finally saw it today. Took an end of the round for a first down. Sign me up for that. kick return. Sign me up for that. First down when we needed it, when we're going down on the second in the second quarter. Big plays today from him. Finally got a chance to see, and hopefully a lot of people got a chance to see what I've been talking about. Big Doc said I copped the authentic Ron Dane jersey. Ron Dane still had a better Giants career than Dave Brown, even though he was a little bit of a bust. Because I remember when we got Ron Dane, it was, what were they calling him? What was the nickname for Ron Dane in Damn Tiki? Somebody help me out, man. Somebody help me out. Pete said, I used to go to Union Market as a kid with moms coming from Stuyvesant. Pete, you from Irvington? Pete, I didn't know you was from Irvington, Pete. You from Irvington, Pete? Shout out to my man, Pete, man. Shout out to Stuyvesant Avenue. Good Lord. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Stuyvesant Avenue. Good Lord. Hey, man, Pete. There's some stories about Stuyvesant Avenue, man. Late 90s, early 2000s, Stuyvesant Avenue. Boy. Luann says, Dash, what will the O-line look like? Who are the starters? This is probably the easiest group to name. It is Andrew Thomas, John Runyon, JMS, CC Maui Noah, and Jermaine Illuminor. That's going to be the starting line. And guess what? I have my question marks going into the season, but this new blocking scheme, I have no questions right now for Runyon. I just got to see it in a real game. JMS looked good in the scheme as well. Not only JMS, Lucas Patrick looked good today too, man. 62 center, the backup center who's been hurt, he looked good today too. This scheme is fantastic, man. I just need to see it against Dallas. That's it. Because again, against the Jets next week, I don't think we see anybody. Shout out to Zaveda, that's a fact. Yo, Dominic Zaveda is skinny as hell, man. He looked like a matador out there. Like what, 6'4", 6'3", what is he, about 165 pounds or like 6'4", 6'3", 160? He is frail looking. I hope, I pray to God that Dominic Zaveda never has to tackle anybody. I pray that all the kicks covered is good coverage and nobody breaks it to the outside, because if it's Dominic Zaveda and whoever else, he is not winning. That man is frail. He is frail. Shout out to Biff Tannen, 1134 with the 10 jewels gold coin. I appreciate the love and support. At some point in time, I'm going to figure out what these jewels and coins are. I'm going to Google it and figure out what it is. I don't know. Hit the hype button too out there, people. I don't even know if I get the hype buttons on the live streams, but let me know. Jessa, what's going on? With the $9.99 super chat, $9.99 super chat. He says, yo, Thunder and Lightning. That's what it was. Thunder and Lightning. Thank you. I was trying to figure out what it was because they had a nickname too. Before it was Earth, Wind, and Fire, we had Ron Dane and Tiki Barber. Boy, Tiki Barber got to the league and took that job, boy. One of the worst running backs the Giants ever picked up was Tyrone Wheatley, though. I thought we had something with Tyrone Wheatley. Pickle Buster says, Dash watching Maury Washington out of Oregon this year. That's a defensive tackle out of Oregon. I thought he was going to come out this year. He could have came out this year and got drafted, but obviously going back, he's going to be a higher draft pick this year. But Amari Washington, yeah, he'd be a solid pickup for us. D tackle out of Oregon. Yes, sir. Rody says, you still got number 12. Nah, we don't. That's Colton Hood. Colton Hood got 12. Colton Hood got 12, man. Right? And that's the thing that's so confusing about it is in the preseason, they got people running around on offense and defense with the same number. You got Burns with 0, Malachi Fields with 0. You got Tyrone Tracy with 29. And then one of the safeties that we just picked up, Amadi, he was wearing 29 today. It's confusing. It's enough numbers. As far as, I mean, we got a bunch of jerseys retired too, but I'm just saying, man. It's a 90-man roster, though, at the end of the day. It's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of numbers. Captain Guy said, yes, sir, Springfield Lab. Man, shout out to Jersey, man. Springfield Lab was a staple for me. Springfield Lab, one of the longest roads I ever seen in my life. I know, like Springfield Lab take you all the way downtown north. Downtown North. That's it. They take you all of. That's it. I was on the 70 bus. Listen, man, it was a 70 bus that take you from Vauxhall all the way downtown. The freaking yeah, whatever. We getting too into the weeds with that. Shout out to the 70 bus, man. 70 bus take you all the way to the Livingston Mall too, man. Shout out to the Livingston Mall, because I heard the Livingston Mall died a couple years ago. Abandoned pretty much, man. Is that true? The Livingston Mall, is it gone? Livingston Mall? Let me know. Is the Livingston Mall gone? Gen X Meg says, I remember when the name wasn't automatic on the jersey. What? Had to pay. Oh, yes. Had to pay per letter. Yes. Yup. Had to pay for the yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Irvin Turner. Listen. Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. Listen, Cap and God, don't give away everything, man. Don't give away everything. Good Lord, man. Don't give away everything. I put that on the screen. I had to get it off the screen, man. Shout out to you, though. Shout out to you. People was outside. Tiki retired because of Coughlin. Tiki retired because of a lot of things. He didn't think the Giants were going to be any good either. And then as soon as he retired, New York Giants go to the Super Bowl the next year. And I felt so good about it too. Because Tiki, I was so mad when Tiki retired, man. So mad when Tiki retired. We won that Super Bowl. I was like, and look at you, you damn dummy. It's all good now, though, man. I mean, I say that respectfully. I wonder, you know what's crazy about that? I wonder if Tiki Barber regrets that. He says like he doesn't regret that. But if he just would have held on just a little bit longer, he would have been a Super Bowl winner. But who knows, man? If Tiki Barber played that year, maybe we don't win the Super Bowl. I don't know. But you got to feel a certain way. That got to hit a little hard, man, for as soon as you leave, your team go to the Super Bowl. Hopefully that's what happened to Dexter Lawrence this year. I hope that's what happened to Dexter Lawrence. New York Giants go win the Super Bowl because you gave up on us and you left out of spite. Kiwa Sosa, what's going on? He says, my son has an LT jersey from the stadium I bought before he was born. I just bought him a Malik Neighbors. His second birthday is September 5th. So happy early birthday. Happy early birthday to your son. And hopefully he enjoys that Neighbors jersey. Yeah. Michael says, Dash, you are a big Blue fan for life, but you don't know Thunder and Lightning. I couldn't remember the name. Now, here's the other thing, too, man. You got to remember, during that time, I was still playing football, too. Actually, not just still playing football. I was playing football. Like, for me, I was always a Giants fan, but I had football my damn self, so I was playing. So I know way more details now than I do. Oh, my God, my man said Sanford Ave. Good Lord. Sanford Ave, Vailsburg section. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to Vailsburg, Sanford Ave. Good Lord. Okay. Jersey is definitely in the building. Now, I just need somebody from East Orange. Now, anybody from East Orange? Is anybody from East Orange in the chat? Let me know. We done had Newark. We got Irvington. Anybody from East Orange? Going once, going twice. Anybody from, shout out to East Orange in the chat, too, if you from East Orange. It's Jersey overload, man. CT says my first jersey was 27 Georgia Bulldog. Okay. Like, literally, I just stopped buying jerseys altogether. And, like, really. It was, like, in high school, when jerseys just were the style, you just bought jerseys anyway, basketball jerseys and all that. I had, like, a Warren Sapp jersey. I had a Warwick Dunn jersey. I had a couple jerseys like freshman year, high school, all that other stuff when it just was styles. But yeah, other than that, that's when jerseys first was heavy. Let's see what we got. Machuca Papa says, kids gifted me a Tiki Barber jersey this year. Wore it for the first time at the game today. Now that's a fact, man. Like I said, I had the white. I had to think about my jersey now. I had the white tiki barber with the blue. I'm sorry, the white tiki barber with the red numbers. That's what I had. The white jersey with the red numbers. Jersey was fire, man. Jersey was fire. 6'3", 178. That's what they listen. If he 178, I don't believe it, man. I don't believe it, man. That man is a 160 pounds soaking wet. 178. I don't know about that. They must have weighed him with all his equipment on, man. If he 170, if they say it's 178, that man is a $160. The Livingston Mall did die, huh? Livingston Mall, man. Oh, so, yeah, listen, man. Speaking of Livingston, man, for the people that are in Jersey, one of my childhood friends owns a restaurant out there. It's called the Mother's Touch Bistro out there in Livingston, New Jersey. Soul food restaurant. One of the only, or actually the first black-owned restaurant in Livingston, New Jersey. If you find yourself in the area, make sure you guys go check that out. And if you do go by that, just tell them Big Dad sent you, man. But yeah, my Mother's Touch Bistro in Livingston, New Jersey. Again, one of my childhood friends, him and his wife are the owners of that fine establishment. And they didn't pay me for that too. That's just out of the love. Biff with the 30 jewels says clutch. Listen, Biff, tell me what the jewels mean. I don't know what the jewels mean. Let me know so I can react accordingly to the jewels. I'm happy for the jewels. Thank you for the love and support. They look like gifts. I see the little gift box. What do the jewels mean? But I appreciate it nonetheless. BB Steph, what's going on? He says Tiki leaving helped diversify the offense and force Eli to grow up. That is a fact. That you forced him out of his comfort zone, and the New York Giants prevailed. Captain God, you got to stop. You gotta stop. Hawthorne Ave, yo, is the Outcast Motorcycle Club still on Hawthorne Ave? Let me know, Captain God. Is it still over there on Hawthorne Ave? Shout out to Per Fanboy in the building. Ant says lived in EO for a bit. Shout out to East Orange, man. Shout out to all the oranges, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Patterson in the building. Unapologetic went everywhere. He said Newark, East Orange, Irvington, Union, Summit, and Maplewood. That's a fact. Said, did I hear Union in the house? Shout out to the 908. Shout out to Union, New Jersey. Shout out to the Fighting Farmers. Shout out to the best coach in New Jersey high school football. Rest in peace, Lou Rutino. Shout out to the Fighting Farmers. Shout out to the Wing T offense. Shout out to Coach Zach, Coach Krisafi, Coach Sola. Shout out to all those guys, man. Shout out to all those guys. Isaac Amore says he retired out of bitterness. I think so. Man, Dinker said, what's up with all the ads? I just set the settings, man. I don't control. The longer you go, I think the more ads they show. So I do apologize for that. I do apologize. Do they last longer than 5 seconds? Let me know. If that's the case, I need to hit a correction so we can take care of that. I ain't even gonna get started on Route 20. Listen, man, we done got to the part of the show where we just throwing out places in New Jersey and running like that. And for the people that are not from New Jersey, especially that specific area in New Jersey, they probably lost, man. Virtual currency. That's what it is. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for the virtual currency. You can use them to buy rubies to then convert into real cash money. So listen, I appreciate it. So that's like YouTube Bitcoin or something. That's what you're trying to tell me, right? I appreciate that. Getting back to Route 22. Is Route 22 still awful? One of the worst highways out there. It was bad when I was out there. Route 22 was awful. Traffic was awful. I'm pretty sure it has not gotten any better. Where we at, man? We had the 2-hour mark. and for those that don't know, this is why we call it the family reunion. Because every time we do this, we get to a portion of the stream where we just reminisce and talk about things that we want to talk about, whether it's football related or not. We go down memory lane with the Giants. We talk about where we grew up, the areas we're from. We represent where we're from, and that's what we do. Michael says, dang, Dash, no shout out to Fairfax, Virginia, North. Listen, shout out to the VA. Shout out to VA. Shout out to Fairfax. There it is. Shout out to Fairfax. Corinne says, Dash, you need to go home and visit. Who you telling? Who you telling? Who are you telling? I missed the Wiz. Damn, the Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz. Good Lord. Leo Luca, what's going on? He says, my dad worked in a body shop in Newark, New Jersey in the 70s. It's a lot of people. Shout out to all the Jersey love in the building, man. Shout out to New York, too, man, because it's a lot of Jersey in here. I appreciate that. He said, nah, it's all about the 434 now. Is that what it is? It's the 434, 7 cities in the building. Shout out to y'all. Nobody beats the Wiz. That's a fact. South Hill, Virginia in the building. He brought it back to the Wiz. That's a fact. The Wiz was 2 stories, too. Jersey Strong, that's a fact. Carteret, shout out to Carteret. One of my favorite basketball coaches was from Carteret, New Jersey. Mr. Z. Shout out to Mr. Z. A Dash Life says your ads are way longer than 5 seconds unless you hit skip. Well, you got to hit the skip. But that also, oh, never mind. Let me shut up. McCann says, I was just up that way the end of July. Shout out to you. Syracuse, New York in the building. There we go. David Tyree is from Montclair, New Jersey. Funny thing enough, man, Montclair, New Jersey beat the Union Fighting Farmers. What was that? 96 for the state championship. David Tyree was on that team. David Tyree was on that team, that Montclair team that beat the New York, good Lord, that beat the Union Farmers. And was it 96, 97? I think it was 96. But I didn't even realize that was that it was David Tyree. Went on to be a Super Bowl winning champion with the New York Giants. Oh boy, here we go. My first Giants game was in 1958 at Yankee Stadium. So first off, JV 1947, salute to you. Appreciate you being an OG in the chat, an OG New York Giants fan, and salute to you for hanging out with me, sharing your experiences and your history with the New York Giants. I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hartford, Connecticut. Shout out to Hartford, Connecticut, man. You know what's crazy? I didn't know about the Connecticut pizza scene till after I moved away from the East Coast. But I heard Connecticut got good pizza. Never knew it a day in my life when I was on the East Coast. He said 1958. That's legendary. It is legendary. Salute to Jay. Shout out to my man OMG in the building. Fantastic New York Giants content creator, killing things over there on Instagram. Make sure you guys support that man out there. Make sure you send him a follow as well here on YouTube. But shout out to my man OMG in the building. Bucktown. Listen, we just saying names now. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to New York, Bucktown. I saw Brooklyn. My man Roldy said Brooklyn in the house as always. The 718. Shout out to Brooklyn. East New York in the building. My man said East Side High, Patterson. Did who go to East Side High in Patterson? I ain't go to East Side High in Patterson. I didn't go to East Side. Who you talking to though that went to East Side? I didn't go to East Side. I know about East Side. They had an East Side High in Newark too, man. They had a good running back out of East Side High too when I played. I can't remember his name. I know he was number 20 though. He was short as hell though. Remind me of Barry Sanders back in the day. Victor Cruz from Patterson. That's a fact. I don't know if he went to East Side High though. Tiki's from VA. That's a fact. The Wiz was a ship. That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to Plainfield. I ain't see to anybody from Plainfield either, man. Shout out to Plainfield. Plainfield used to have our number, man. Elizabeth, New Jersey used to have our number too, man. The Minutemen, they were pretty good in football too, man. I don't know what they are now. Shout out to PG County in the building, my man LRP. Listen, All right, just so everybody knows, we got 200 people in the building already right now. Officially, the show has ended. I will say that. We are at the portion of the show where we are just yapping. We just yapping. So if you are a New York Giant fan that enjoys stories about football or not, we're gonna do this for a little bit longer. Just for and hopefully you guys feel comfortable enough to shout yourself out in the chat. Duke says Stockton, California. Shout out to Northern California. Shout out to Stockton, man. Shout out to what was it? Shout out to the 5 highway. Shout out to the 5. I think the 5 goes through Stockton. Shout out to Stockton. Shout out to the whole Bay Area too, man. PG County too, right? There you go. Mantinka says he's seen Frank Gifford play. That might even be true. Hold on, when did Frank Gifford stop playing? Matter of fact, JV, you in the building? You saw Frank Gifford play? If you still here, let me know. You saw Gifford, Frank Gifford play? Let me know. I can't even remember. Luann says, Dash, you coming up for the first game? I am not. I'm not coming up for the first game. I tried to make that happen. It did not happen. It did not. I am going to another game, though. Jim Simpson says, great chat as usual, Dash. Please tell Mrs. Dash that Big Dash knows family. We said hello. Nah, I sure will, man. She probably listening. You know, she be in the cut, man. What's going on, Lorenzo? Michael says, how you like Alabama fan after we got Evan Neal from, listen, first of all, I was an Alabama fan before Evan Neal. I was an Alabama fan my whole life, even when Alabama sucked, especially in the 90s when Alabama was trash. I was there for those hard years, man. But I will say Evan Neal made me not trust Alabama linemen at all. At all. Rody says, Dash, were you in your YouTube page? Can you find that hat you got? Yeah, it's on there, man. What I'll do is I'll send you the link because I got you on Twitter still. If you still got Twitter, I still got you there. But it's on the link. It might not be one of the pictures, but if you go to just Big Dash Nose Spread Shop, look it up, you'll find the design and the hat's in there. It's in there. And again, I got that other hat that just came out that I'm saving for week 1. I'm trying to put that out in the universe. Tyrone Hall says, I have it. Hold on, where'd he go? I have an NFC Championship cap signed by Frank Gifford at train. That's fire. David Wilson made me yeah. There was a time, like I said, Alabama was so horrible that my second team was Virginia Tech. Michael Vick played a big role in that. And then it was Michael Vick. Then it was his brother, Marcus Vick. Then it was Tyrod Taylor was there too. Lorenzo Pipes, roll tide, roll. Melanie says, Giants defense going to be good this year. I hope so, man. We got all the ingredients to be good. We got a good chef cooking up the plays. So I hope so. And like I said, all stream long, I've been saying, if this secondary is good, we can fight with anybody in the league, 100%. Shout out to my man Black Freezy in the building. Said, what to do, Dash? Peace to the chat. We had a fish fry today. That's a fact. That's a fact. We was out here frying up fish. I ain't never had fried dolphin to today. And guess what? It was delicious. But now bring home the MetLife trophy. That's a fact. Get the Jets up out of the way. You know what's crazy? They might play their starters out of pettiness, though, man. They might. I'm not sure, but they might. They might play it. They might play their starters. I wouldn't mind hitting Geno Smith. You know what I mean? Rough him up before the season starts. Biff says, Big Blue Wrecking Crew. Now, that's a fact. Hopefully we got a new version of that. Team Zavala, what's going on? Says Frank G is from my hometown of Bakersfield, Cal. Shout out to Bakersfield, another Northern California town. Actually, no, I'm lying. Bakersfield is Southern California. I'm sorry. I was thinking Fresno for a second. That might actually be like Middle California, actually. Shout out to Bakersfield. Bakersfield ain't that far from like Victorville and all that. I think Victorville might be like the next stop outside of Bakersfield. This Bakersfield is that where the base is in Bakersfield? Let me know. Lorenzo's Dash, you think Tay Banks starting? Right now, I do think he's starting. Right now. Paulson Adebo still holding on. I liked his performance today, but Tay Banks had a pretty good performance. Here's my thoughts right on that. Even if Tay Banks wins, hold on just a moment. My wife just told me I'm loud and wrong. I don't know where the hell Bakersfield is. I'm sorry. She let me know though. Told me I was loud and wrong. Look at that. I told you Miss Dash somewhere over here. She be ready to snipe stuff. But no, when it comes to Tay Banks, and Poston Adebo, I think they're gonna let it ride with Tay Banks, and they're gonna see how it goes. And I think it might, if he's not looking good, it's going to be a short leash, and that goes for anybody, whether it's a combination of Banks and Newsome, Adebo and Newsome. If they see one of these guys struggling, they feel comfortable enough with the other guy. So it's just about them actually going and proving it. I don't think if you stamp Banks as a starter for week 1 and he doesn't play well, I don't think he's a guaranteed starter in week 2. I think there's that much competition in the secondary that it'll just be that whoever is playing better is going to play and hold on to their job. But you got Colton Hood waiting. So, for example, if it's Banks and it's Newsome, you got Adebo, you got Colton Hood waiting for their turn to get on the field. And they can easily take over those jobs too. Maybe not Colton Hood, but Poston Adebo right now. Colton Hood needs a little bit more seasoning. He's not quite ready to go yet. The hat is in the shop. The hat is definitely in the shop with all the rest of the hats. Giants guy says, don't care what nobody says. Jameis Winston is better than Dart. He looked good today. He's moving the ball today. He looked good today. He ain't going to get that chance, so I'll let you know that right now. It ain't happening. They are invested in Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is going to have to look awful in order for them to move on to Jameis Winston. I'm just letting you know that right now. And they're not going to do that. So even if you believe that, and I believe that you believe that, you're not going to see that. Like the damn Tooth Fairy. Black Freezy says, LRP, I see you, bro. Shout out to the whole, well, there you go. Shout out to the whole Shakedown crew being in the building, man. Again, there's a lot of fantastic Giants content creators in the building that have been in the chat all night long. Black Freezy, my man, LRP with the Shakedown shenanigans, both for the same team. Those guys, make sure you guys show your support for those guys as well. Again, one of the originators when it comes to this podcasting thing, especially for the New York Giants. And that's why we call it the family reunion. We got people that ain't talked to somebody in a while. Shout out to Bergen County. I think we good, man. I think we good. So the moral of the story today is the New York Giants, and I think my man might be out of church right now. The New York Giants put belt to ass to the Miami Dolphins today. The Miami Dolphins were the lesser team, but guess what? The New York Giants still took care of business. They made a lesser team look like a lesser team instead of playing down to a lesser team, so I'm happy with that. We got one more preseason game to go. It's going to be the New York Jets. I don't believe we see the starters again until Dallas. And boy, oh boy, I cannot wait for this season to start. The Jackal says, what up, Dash? Can't wait to see how the starters look. Them Cowgirls look decent, not going to lie. I want them to look fantastic, so when we beat them, they have no excuses. That's what I want. I want everybody to look good, so when we beat them, they have no excuses. We beat the Dallas Cowboys last year, and all those Dallas Cowboys said, oh, well, we pulled Dart out of the game. You pulled Dart out of the game because y'all didn't have a chance to win, and y'all said, forget it. I got triggered just now. I apologize. Flex Zone, what's going on? I said, Big Dash, what's good, my guy? Checking in. Show him some love. The G-Men look dominant today. I guess getting rid of Big Falele will do that. That's a fact. Falele is gone, and we got a 6th-round pick for him. So shout out to the Flex Zone, another fantastic sports content creator out there. They do more than sports, actually, too. They are, well, some of them are Ravens fans over there, so just beware. Nah, they good people, man. Shout out to them. Melanated King says, beat Cowboys week 1. That's what we want to do. That's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I do think we got a chance to do that for sure. Dealer says, Dash, can you read my last comment? I know you're about to head out. Where is it at? Absolutely, deal. As long as I can find it. If not, copy and paste it. I see it. Here we go. I think this is it. Dash, if Banks is starting, do you think he'll still be placed on kick return? Dude, that's a great question. That's a great question. Damn. That's a great question. If he's a starting cornerback, I probably would take him off a kick return, but he's like the best kick returner we got. That's a fantastic question, man. Damn, that's a good question. Here, you know what? I'll say this. You keep him at kick return unless you have unless you have another option out there. You keep him on kick return because it's such a tight competition in the cornerback room. So if he does go down, you still have Poston and Debo, you still got Colton Hood, and you still have the threat of having, Tay Banks as a returner. Yeah. Or you can also say that the New York Giants are so good that teams aren't going to score, and there's no need to have a kick returner back there. I'm just saying, because maybe he's not returning that many kicks because the defense is so damn good and teams are not scoring touchdowns or even field goals. I'll say that. But nah, all jokes aside, that's a fantastic question. And I'm curious to see how they handle that, in all honesty. I did not think about that. That's a fantastic question. CT says representing, is it, oh boy. Is it Oahu? Hawaii. Oahu. Okay. I think I got it right. This was much cooler in real time, Big Dash, knuckleheads and all. Appreciate you a whole heap, my brother. Go Giants. Now I appreciate you for tuning in, man. I appreciate you for tuning in. This is what they do, right? In Hawaii. That's what they do. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate the love and support, man. And hanging out with us. And again, it's family reunion. Your family. Wills, what's going on, Wills? There's no way the starters don't play against the Jets. Harbaugh is not giving them almost a month off before Dallas. He wants them sharp and mean. The only reason why they didn't play this week is because they did so well in joint practice. If the New York Giants sucked in joint practice against the Dolphins, they most likely played today. They would most likely have played today. Because they did so well against the Jets, against the Dolphins in practice, that's the reason why we didn't see the starters today. Had Jackson Dart not have his best practice of all of training camp against the Dolphins on Thursday, he would have played today. I think that's 100% what went into the decision to not play the starters today. I really do believe that. And they don't have any joint practices planned with the Jets. Maybe you see the starters, but I don't think so, because it's just normally. But I was dead wrong this week. I could be dead wrong about the starters not playing next week. Don't hold me to it. I'm just a guy on YouTube talking about the team I love the most. I don't got no insiders, man. I didn't make it to that level yet where I got insiders. Maybe next year. Shout out to Middletown, Connecticut. Shout out to NC State. We getting out of here, people. But if you got some more shout outs for your towns, go ahead and do that. Bruce Van says the QB from Arizona is nice. He better than Jameis. Okay. All right. Dealer says Dealer giving himself an out for OBJ makes the squad because Tay ain't returned. See what happens? See what happens? That's what happens. All right, but we're going to get out of here. So, man, hopefully everybody has a good rest of their weekend. For those that got to go to church tomorrow, hopefully you have a good church sermon. For those that got to work tomorrow, hopefully you have a good shift. For those that are just hanging out with your family, hopefully you get a chance to enjoy your family and everybody else. Hopefully you have a good Sunday. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation. Let's go.